cmpradio.net. It's the station.
All right. Welcome to cmpradio.net, the wonderful world of Rich Blye. How y'all doing out there? Y'all miss me? You miss me? Let me know. Did you miss me? Are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure if you miss me? I tell you, it's going to be an amazing show. Welcome back. Welcome back to me. Welcome back to the station, cmpradio.net with Uncle P. We're about to get into it because you guys need some, how can I say it?
Some course correction.
So, yeah, man.
Course correction.
Man.
I think everybody needs it. You feel me?
Listen, I keep trying to say I'm not judgmental.
No, you shouldn't be.
But I have to say this to my family, to my brothers and sisters, in the spirit, to each and every breathing American. What the hell is going on that we are walking away from certain moralities about ourselves that you know to be true and I know to be true? I think a lot of people are playing around with this game post election and things that they can get off their chest that they've been wanting to vent for a while when it comes down to how they feel about certain issues, including and not excluding illegal immigration, ICE, the use of children in protests, and not only, not lastly, but certainly of great importance, the reel that was put on the official White House feed. And all of the repercussions that came after that, all of it. I've had opportunity to sit down with people and actually talk to them about some things. I've had some opportunities to look over and see the opinions of some folks. And I just want to say this, that, you know, while I understand certain contexts, while I understand certain environments and background, and I understand that, you know, people, you know, view things a little bit differently than I do, and I can respect that a lot. It's not all that egregious. I'm going to get into it in the middle of my segment as we talk about it. But first, welcome back to me. Welcome back.
Welcome back. Bro.
Oh, bro, listen, it's been an interesting, how can I say it? About 37, 38 days.
Yeah.
It's been very, very interesting, you know, with a lot of things that are going on in my township, things that are going on all around here in Chester, and you know, we got to talk about these things because, you know, the kids are watching us, our youth are watching, our young adults are watching us, and you know, they've got some words for us, and a lot of it ain't, you know, a lot of it ain't nice.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? A lot of it is very, you know, reflective as far as I'm concerned. You know, I think that this is something that I need to be paying attention to in particular, seeing as though that I have grandchildren that are coming of age and in this world at 16, 17, and 18, and they have concerns. So I need to, you know, pay attention to what their environments that they're facing and the things that they're going through. My children are still experiencing, you know, a little bit of shades of this, learning a lot about that, coming into an age and era of responsibility where they start to take over some of the planning and scheming direction that the elders have. And as I've said before, my age group that's coming into our 60s, we're the new elders. Okay? All of our elders, thank you so much for standing up. And I know that, you know, you still, hold on, you still have value. Okay, I'm not displacing you. But while we have this energy right now, the people in my age group need to really get on the ball and start securing the future by reminding people about the past. You cannot move forward unless you have a foundation of understanding where you are in this society, especially in this United States of America, which is founded and rooted in white supremacy. Oh, this one's not going to be the type of show that you're expecting, folks. Some of you ain't going to be able to take it, and I don't care.
You do.
No, I don't.
You do.
No.
Just a little bit.
No.
Just a bit.
Zero.
Just a little bit.
Zero.
Come on, Rich.
Zero. You know why I don't care, bro?
Why don't you care?
Because I tried to explain this in a live. And I think that I was rather emotional at the time.
You can be.
You know, not all the time.
But you can be.
But
I'm saying you can be.
I think that, you know, I think
Why
that.
wouldn't you be?
Well, I think that, I'm going to say this. At that time, I was getting a lot of people dumping inside of my inbox. You know, some things that some people didn't want to say off, you know, out front.
And that's what happens.
Was said, you know,
in your inbox.
in the back door,
Right,
you know,
right.
kind of like remember the movie Blazing Saddles?
Yeah, Blazing Saddles.
Okay, you know what I mean. Right. I'll reference that. Remember Blazing Saddles when the old white lady is coming up the steps and Clevi Little goes, "Hey, it's a fine, beautiful morning you have here," and she goes, "Up yours, nigger."
Up here, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So, but towards the end, where the town, you know, started getting a liking to him,
Right.
she bought him a pie.
Right.
And then came back and said, "I hope you don't have the decency to spread this around that I did this for you."
Ooh.
See, when I talk to people, I want to tell them that there are things that we in our generation solved as racism and things that we brought out in racism in our films and our shows and our movies and everything like that. So we're not going to play this little game because you want to play with the younger generation and the kids that don't know you, that are your age. I want people to remind a lot of people, especially in the Philadelphia area, okay? I have a lot of yearbooks, bro. A lot of people passed away and stuff like that. But not so many people that I grew up with and went to high school with and went to middle school with, and they still living. And I still remember you.
You're still racist.
And you're still racist as hell, bro. Okay, still there.
I was watching something the other day. They were talking about a race riot in Fallcroft.
Oh, yeah.
And I was looking at the picture. It was a kid. It was a kid holding a belt and yelling. And he looked familiar. And it's like, some of the people who you shake hands with today were these children at that time.
Absolutely.
And at that time, the kids didn't know. It's like when y'all with the Ridley and y'all had everybody spewing and yelling and fussing and screaming. Their kids were sitting right there with them. What are their kids going to do?
They grew up in
as
that.
they grow up, as you grow, because it's not racism if it's taught to you in your house. It's just what you don't like. That's what I be trying to get people to understand. It's racism outside. It's racism done at your job, but it's not racism when mom and dad say, don't speak to black people, or don't be nice to black people, or you deserve more, or don't allow a black person to step in front of you or talk to you crazy. It's these
Bro,
are the
that's
things.
cat. Can I say that? That's
What?
cat. Because I'm going to tell you right now, we have new arrivals who have been told right from the gate, and old school arrivals have been told from the gate not to associate with us based upon the stereotypes. It is talked about at the dinner table. It is talked about in these clubs. It's talked about right in front of your face. I got people that felt very comfortable in making certain types of jokes, blah, 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 because, you know, Rich Blye, you know, he's different.
Cool. Right.
You're different.
He's a white nigger.
OG Bobby must think so. You gonna make a meme and then you gonna, you know, run off the plantation. Put that joint back up there, OG Bobby.
What was up?
Oh man, he had a guy interviewing a kid inside of a market. And apparently the kid was white,
Right.
and you know, because he had my face on it.
Right.
Hey Bobby, put that joint back up there, bro.
Right.
You ain't even give me a chance to come back at you. I had something for you, bro.
Hey, y'all
I
be
had
going-
something for you.
y'all
Listen,
be going hard on Facebook.
listen. On Petty Gang, I want to say this. I'm gonna say this about Petty Gang, okay? And this is going to be the difference between what was seen on that feed with the White House and what we do.
You got to explain, because I don't know what feed you're talking about.
So Petty Gang has started a long time ago. I don't know who particularly got it started. Carmos. Tillery calls him the meme god. Will Taylor, you know, just rips everybody out the shreds. He don't give a damn. You had Kid and Play with Vern Swigert and Marlon Carr. You know what I mean? You had them tag teaming. You had Khalil Jabbar coming in there, and, you know, he tearing stuff out the frame. It was a healthy way for us as men to, you know, poke fun at each other like we did when we was kids. You know what I mean? You know, healthy banter between the two of us. But when we got started, and D Wade, I can't forget about you, D Wade. You know, you the star, baby. You always gonna be my superstar, bro. So when we started out, we had to adjust to some codes of conduct. When we making fun of each other in a playful way, of course. You know, the be right back, the BRB. You know what I mean? That's our moniker. It's you know what I mean? You got something smart to say, we be right back. You know what I mean? I got something put on you, blah, blah, blah. And this thing has continued for years and developed some friendships, people I've met in public, you know, from this, people that I've had associations with, you know, in my DMs and stuff like that, you know, talking to a lot of people over the phone. But we always had a code of conduct with our fun, just like on the streets. And part of that was, don't put us in uncompromising positions past our character.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So none of us are gay.
Right. So don't play
the gay role.
Right.
You know what I mean? Don't do that. Don't depict us as animals or dogs or something like that or whatever. Nothing that degrades us or demean us past who we are as men.
But something that's funny.
Yeah, but something that's funny, you know what I mean? And we've always come to that conclusion, you know what I mean? Oh, that's suspect, you know what I mean? Oh, you tripping, what you know what you're doing. And it always got straightened out because there was an unwritten rule, code of conduct amongst us as we make fun of each other. So I know a lot of people go, oh, Rich, you know, you make these memes and everything like that. Yeah, I do. But it's never to downgrade your character of who you are to me or who you have been to me. It's something where I promote the healthy aspect of our friendship, and we're gonna get into that too when I talk about that too.
Now, Reginald Duncan on here said they looked at you as the safe black.
I don't know why.
Why?
Because man, listen, I don't have no pics.
I'm about to turn the screen on so you can see these comments.
Yeah, I don't have any pics, I think that we need to clear that up. I think that that's what needs to be cleared up, is that I don't have no pics. Because before I became anything, or before I was seen as anything, I was a black man walking in America, period. And as my story goes, and I'm not going to rehash it, I am a product of my environment and a product of a very unjust criminal justice system that has played with my life. And for the majority of my successes, it did not come from somebody giving me a helping hand, or giving me a leg up, or feeling sorry for me. It was hard, tenacious work to make sure that I had something to leave my children, a legacy that is deserving of them, not the legacy that society wanted to give me. But before we get into that, hold on, because I'm jumping the gun here. Let's get into my scripture reading, because I always want to make sure that I thank the Lord for all of the blessings that he has given me in my life, the health, the wealth, and the strength to be able to be here today and to be able to talk to all you fine folks out here in Delco and all places in between and in the lovely city of Chester. So let me read from the Old Testament, 2 Chronicles chapter 20. I'm going to start at verse 14. Then upon Jaziel, the son of Zechariah, the son of Benaniah, the son of Jahiel, the son of Mattanah, a Levite of the sons of Asper, came to the Spirit of the Lord in the midst of the congregation. And he said, hearken ye, all Judah, and all ye inhabitants of Jerusalem, and thou, King Jehoshaphat. Thus saith the Lord unto you, be not afraid or dismayed by the reason of this great multitude, for the battle is not yours, but God's. Tomorrow go ye down against them. Behold, they will come up to the cliff of Ziz, and ye shall find them at the end of the brook before the wilderness of Jeruel. Ye shall not need to fight in this battle. Set yourselves. Stand ye still and see the salvation of the Lord with you, O Judah and Jerusalem. Fear not, nor be dismayed. Tomorrow go out against them, for the Lord will be with you. And Jehoshaphat bowed his head with his face to the ground, and all of Judah and the inhabitants of Jerusalem fell before the Lord, worshiping the Lord. And the Levites of the children of the Kohathites and the children of the Kohites stood up to praise the Lord God of Israel with a loud voice on high. Jehoshaphat, and they rose early in the morning and went forth to the wilderness of Tekoa. And as they went forth, Jehoshaphat stood and said, hear me, O Judah, and ye inhabitants of Jerusalem. Believe in the Lord your God, so shall you be established. Believe his prophets, so shall you prosper. And when he had consulted with the people, he appointed singers unto the Lord, that they shall praise the beauty of the holiness, as they went out before the army to say, praise the Lord, for his mercy endureth forever. And when they began to sing and to praise, the Lord set ambushments against the children of Ammon, Moab, and Mount Seir, which had came against Judah, and they were smitten. For the children of Ammon and Moab stood up against the inhabitants of Mount Seir, utterly to slay and destroy them. And when they made an end of the inhabitants of Seir, everyone helped destroy each other. Sometimes you don't have to go after someone. Sometimes if you just wait on the Lord and be of good courage, the Lord will fight many of your battles. And I think that's where I've been for the past month or so, where I've been on sort of a long overdue stretch with my therapy and dealing with stuff, but it's Black History Month. So before I get into my segment of race, racism, and fools, I like to take this time to do two things really quick. One, a lot of you may know or may not know. He said, man, stay focused. Yo, what's up, Carl? That's crazy work. Yeah. One of the things that I want to do is that I want to talk about my brother, Brian Sharif Taylor, deceased Sergeant retired United States Army, who was a loving father and son, a loving son, a brother and an uncle. He was founder and co-founder of many of the following: Tailor-Made Vets in Pennsylvania, Maryland, and Florida, established in 2018. The Warming Center at the American Legion Post 214 in Upper Darby in 2022-2023. The Delaware County Veterans Network, which was established in 2021. My brother Brian Sharif Taylor deceased, retired sergeant, was on the board of directors of the Pennsylvania Governor's Board for Veterans and the Delaware County Veterans Memorial, placed there in 2020. He was a member of the following: service officer of Lansdowne Post 65, service officer of Upper Darby Post 214, a member of the Upper Darby Collaborative, partnered with Recovery Without Barriers, started by and with the late Tina Hamilton, still going on with Paul Ann Sabatino. A strong advocate for veterans, their families, the unhoused, and the substance abuse. My brother earned many commendations in his service to his country. One of 2 times winning the Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, the National Defense Medal, the Global War on Terrorism Expeditionary Service Medal, the Iraq Campaign Medal, the Campaign Star, and the Good Conduct Medal. It's important that we remember in these times those who have left us and left us with a legacy to stand on. And I'm proud to say that in the years that I stood next to this man, he left an indelible mark on how I treat veterans and their families and how I strongly advocate for it now. So I ring my bell. To honor the strength of his memory. Now, again, before I get into the race, racism, and fool segment, it is Black History Month. But as I like to call it, Black American History Month. And the reason why I call it Black American History Month is because it was started by Carter G. Woodson to talk about the accomplishments that were happening right here in America. So, let's start off with a Black history question real quick. Who's James Durham? Anybody? Anybody watching? Anybody? Who is James Durham? It's a name you probably never heard before, and some of you will go and do a search on it a little bit later or come in and chat in, but let me give you the answer as to who James Durham was. James Durham was the first African American to practice medicine. He was born in Philadelphia, and he was owned by 3 different doctors as a slave. In one house, he learned how to read and write. In the others, he absorbed by proximity, watching, assisting, and listening with these doctors. In 1788 in New Orleans, he learned surgery, diagnosis, learned how to treat people who society had deemed as disposable. He was either given or his freedom was purchased, so he became a free person in New Orleans. He practiced medicine openly to Black freedmen, enslaved Africans, people who were barred by white doctors by law and by customs. He spoke 3 languages, French, English, and Spanish. He met with Dr. Benjamin Rush. Why is that important? Well, Dr. Benjamin Rush was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence and a respected physician at that time who wrote that he expected to teach Mr. James Durham more about the medical field from his knowledge at that time, but admitted that he was humbled to hear and discover that James Durham knew more than he did. Knew more than he did. In 1801, New Orleans had passed laws barring anyone from practicing medicine without a formal degree. And then in 1802, he disappeared amongst suspicion that he was either lynched or he went and practiced medicine by another name. But the embedded system of striking brilliance and talent is basically at the core of how this country was built on white supremacy in making sure that the imagery of Black men stays secure within the confines and the conscripts of what this country wants us to be. Everybody knows that you're going to only go but so far on this ladder in this country without getting knocked down a peg or two, or somebody being mad about your brilliance and want to discredit you and put you down and keep you down, because the majority, and this is throughout history, the majority of brilliant black men die penniless. Not anymore, but pretty much in the same fashion, in debt, owing things to the society, being robbed while they're invalid, so on and so forth. This embedded system of striking brilliance and talent from history is at the core of white supremacy. Now, normally, most of the people don't hear me talking about race and racism and fools, but I do believe that after watching everything this year in January, where I took off for a whole entire month from being on this podcast in the wonderful world of Rich Blye at cmpradio.net, I took off some time to really reflect on what I'm seeing out here in the world. I took some time off to look at how we treat each other, all up and down, Delco, all up and down 95. And I see that we are wanting for something. We are wanting for leadership, true leadership. We're wanting for true accountability. We want people to stop lying. Stop lying. There would not be a need for me to come onto a podcast. There would not be a need for me to have these type of conversations if some of your political officials that you voted for will stop lying to you and or fueling the flames of race and racism. But let's get into it. And we have to always start with, what is race? Well, what is race? Race is a social construct. The scientific community absolutely believes that. So if you don't believe in race being a social construct, you are a fool. That's exactly what it is. It's a group of people based upon perceived shared physical attributes like skin color, hair textures, ancestral and cultural backgrounds, meaning something that was made up and forced upon us as a people to understand the difference and create hierarchies. Is that not true? Because you can come right on in a comment and try to dissuade me from believing something that's been absolutely factual since the time I was able to study anthropology and the social behaviors of human beings. Race is a construct because we're all shades of wheat as far as color. We're all human. Mammals. But we are divided by this social construct. Racialization. Instead of saying racism, I'm going to get right into what the context is. It's not racism. It's racialization. And what exactly is racialization? Racialization is the social, historical, and political process of assigning racial identities to groups based upon real or imagined characteristics, attaching meaning to these identities to create hierarchies. Key aspects. Definition and process. Racialization. Key aspects. Definition and process. It is a process rather than a static category involving the imposition of racial meaning into social groups, relationships, or practices. Well, what do you mean by that, Rich? What do you mean by racialization and putting the imposition of racial meaning into social groups, relationships, and practices. Well, let's break it down into contemporary, institutional, and historical. So let's start with historical. Historically, in this country, we have the creation of free white and slave in early America. We also have freedmen. We also have indigenous. We have several terms that we were classified as through a census. Through a census. If you folks don't understand, please go back through history and you will see the reclassification of a people that was indigenous to this land. And I keep saying to folks, not all dark-hued people were slaves, and not all came from across the Atlantic and the transatlantic slave trade. Not all of us. Look up freedmen. Look up the Dutch colonization of New York City. Look at the trappers and the traders who integrated and came down following the elk and the caribou and the bison into America, because you have to remember there were no borders. It was just territories. There were no borders. There were no politicians. So you're not, and you cannot provide a context as to what these people were thinking socially, because most times these trappers, these hunters, these gatherers were in small groups where they worked with their own system of codes and conduct, and not how we are today, where we can reach across the world and touch somebody else and connect with them or make a disconnection with them based upon the climate that we're in today. It was much simpler then. So you cannot make a correlation between what people were thinking during that time and what's happening now that we've come up to speed to be able to see what you're thinking through Facebook, Instagram, X, and all these other platforms. Contemporary. The media stereotyping of specific groups like Jews, Italians, Asians, and blacks. This is why I don't watch television, folks. This is why I have a big problem with programmed media. I have a big problem with programmed media. They know how we tick so much. They know what makes us tick so badly. They understand our buying habits. They understand everything about us, everything. And you would be a fool to believe that your counterparts don't understand you or understand the circumstances that you talk to them about, because you're not the first person to come up with a story, song, dance, or a true life experience that I either paid attention to or could care less about. So once again, like I said, I care, but I don't care. It's time for us to start talking about some realness in the things that people want to say and what people want to believe. And I know that you want to hold on to your general bull moose way of looking at life, but I'm here to also dispel some things about me personally that I think a lot of you have gotten wrong over the years. And with that being said, let me give you institutional, based upon increased surveillance and harsher disciplines for blacks and Latinos, often based upon implicit bias. What is implicit bias? Now, I have some friends that are going to, oh, Rich, here you go with that implicit bias. There's no such thing as implicit bias. Yes, the hell it is. Yes, there is. I think what happens is that a lot of you have judged a lot of people who look like me and expect them to have the same type of attitude that I carry, but also overlooking that I understand and relate to certain people in my demographic and in my walks and everything like that. And I know what they have gone through because I've had it done to me similarly, except that I found a different way to overcome it. That's the difference between myself and maybe another black person that you see. They haven't overcome some situations yet, or they probably just don't care what you think. But there was a lot of opinion. There was a lot of opinion over the weekend. There was a lot of opinion, before the Super Bowl. There was a lot of opinion about the Super Bowl and everything like that. And before anybody asked me any questions, I did not watch it. I had no taste for it. I had no desire for it. I was going to go out and hang with some of my good friends, but to be quite honest, I just felt fatigued from the whole thing, and I really didn't have an interest, and I stayed home. But again, people didn't like Bad Bunny, and then you had the Turning Point halftime show, and people tuned out of that, and it was back and forth with this, and I'm thinking this is nuts. And the only people that I want to blame for this type of thing, for different halftime shows and for different artists from the halftime shows, I blame In Living Color. Why do I blame In Living Color? Because In Living Color, listen to people back in the 90s. What was it, 90, 95, 90, 90, 95? Yeah. They got tired of seeing the college marching bands. They got tired of seeing the magic shows. They got tired of seeing the parading leotards of people with happy faces, smiling. They wanted to be entertained in between, like an intermission prior to the next part of the snap and everything like that. And to everybody's sentiment, yes, the halftime show with the NFL was absolutely boring. And here came In Living Color. And In Living Color did the halftime show, what was it, Super Bowl 29, I believe, and pulled ratings away from, I guess it was, CBS at the time, who had the Super Bowl, whichever network had the Super Bowl at the time. And it was such a success, it made the NFL stand up and pay attention, and they decided the very next year to go get Michael Jackson for the Super Bowl halftime show. And they never stopped after that because they were not going to allow anybody to become disenchanted with their product. And they were not going to allow any type of competition because if you know the NFL, they don't compete against nobody. Nobody. They are that conglomerate that will hammer you out of existence if you try to step on any type of their territory, trademark, shield, whatever. But I blame In Living Color. I blamed In Living Color for starting this trend. You didn't know about In Living Color? You didn't know that they had that Super Bowl show and at the halftime show that pulled in so many millions of viewers? See, we live in America where I could care less about the Turning Point USA show. I could care less about Bad Bunny. See how that works? See how that works? I could care less. And in caring less, all I did was one thing. Boop. Turn the TV off. Kendrick Lamar was hot last year anyway in the Super Bowl. But turn the TV off. Then I don't have to worry about that beam being directed in my skull and messing with my pituitary and changing my emotion. Turn it off. But no, we gotta have this big national argument because Bad Bunny is Puerto Rican and everybody talking about Puerto Ricans and I want a wholesome halftime show. I don't want nobody talking with lyrics that degrade this and say that. but know every word to NWA's F the Police, black or white. Killing me, Smalls. Killing me. So implicit bias, the automatic involuntary attitudes towards stereotypes that affect our understandings, actions, and decision-making behaviors. Understanding the defense of stereotypes in slurs. I'm never surprised. I'm never surprised when I see things on social media anymore. I'm not surprised by some of the comments that I see in different social groups. I'm not surprised by some of the beliefs and some of the comments of people on my page. It's not surprising. But I think that we need to reestablish some frankness between us. And for people who want to view me a certain way because of certain positions or points of view that I have with my life. First of all, I would like to say this. While I may have some similarities with people who possess the DNA of a person from a sub-Saharan continent, and while I share some similarities with people who have been oppressed in America and have absolutely been through some racist situations and have absolutely died from it or been jailed from it or persecuted from it, absolutely, there's no denying it because it's all recorded history. One of the things that I am is an individual, and I possess the ability to think for myself. That's a hard thing for a lot of people to accept about me. I don't do status quo. Like, I'm not the dude that's going to run every time Jordans comes out with a new pair of shoes. I'm not that guy. I don't do group think at all. I may agree with some points of a group that you're making, but I'm going to make my own decisions personally, because if it enhances who I am, thank you for that. If it's going to decrease my spirit and my energy, thank you, no thank you. And I have the ability to decide that. And I've decided that ability since I was basically 30, 35, soon to be 59. So how is someone else's opinion about a life that I've led, an amount of experience that I've had when it comes to these racialization moments and historical, contemporary, and institutional implicit bias by people whose actions are based upon certain firm decisions in their character? You can walk to the moon, float like a balloon. You'll see it's never too late and it's never too soon. I got to read the rest of it in a second, John. Thanks for tuning in, John, but you know what I'm talking about. Understanding the defense of stereotypes and slurs. Understanding the defense of stereotypes and slurs. Using slurs involves in analyzing how derogatory language functions to reinforce, normalize, and justify bias, often inaccurate beliefs about social groups. How many of you have pulled your eyes away from your eyes and pulled them back and said, me Chinese, me drink Coke? You know, how many of you have used language to describe someone that's Latino or Mexican? Raise your hand. See why we don't lie? Because we grew up that way in systems that made fun of people and denigrated them. I hear people call Chinese or Asian people gooks because that's the environment that they're in. Does it make it right? Nope. Does it get corrected? Sometimes. We've called certain people wops and guineas and stuff like that, these slurs. When Italian people have been persecuted just like black people here in this country. Definitely the Irish. Especially the Chinese. Are we forgetting ourselves? Are we forgetting our places? Are we forgetting the things that naturally occurred here in this land between our ancestors and amongst each other? Because it seems very silly to me that if we haven't forgotten what it feels like, then why are we continue to agree with it on a national level? Because the defense of stereotypes using slurs depends on how derogatory the language is. There's levels to this. There's levels to this, folks. And we got to finally, once and for all, for the sake of our children and our grandchildren, our generation that was close to the civil rights era, we are the children born of that Adam. It's time for us to literally come together and sit down and get these things out again. I make posts on my page that we solve racism. And a lot of people, oh, Rich, what do you mean we solve racism? We did. In the late 60s, early 70s, we had shows and programs that was raw and uncensored. And we had sitcoms that showed the heart and the soul and the heartbeat of the American fabric of everyone. Shows like All in the Family, shows like The Jeffersons, shows like The Waltons, shows like Good Times. Good Times is everybody's favorite. Everybody, anybody that was born in the 70s or prior or whatever, everybody loves Good Times. They do. They love Good Times. They love Good Times because of J.J. Walker, Kid Dynamite. They love Thelma. She was a beautiful teenager growing up. Everybody knows, a lot of people's teenage crush. One of mine too. Everyone loved Michael, the militant young black man who wanted to fight the power at an early age and, had the intelligence to understand about himself and his culture. But the one element that everybody agreed with was that they loved that character, James Evans. James Evans, the character, represented discipline regardless of the environmental circumstances that he was locked into with his family living inside of a high-rise in Chicago. Fictionally, of course, this is not real. But using fiction to explain some things help people feel a lot better when you're not personally calling them out. But James Evans, Sanford and Sons, Good Time, Chico and the Man, John, listen, we really need to sit these kids down and absolutely just have a whole throwback Saturday. Let these kids watch these shows raw like we did. And then at the end, it was bad. That was bad. That was bad, Pauline. And we need to literally have these open forums with our younger counterparts here if they want to come to the table. Because again, the way that they have them indoctrinated now is that you can't tell these kids nothing. Because they got the answers except for foundational pass. You got great executions, but you got nothing to stand on. Some of you don't have any legacy to stand on, and you got to make it up yourself right now as a young person. And the reason why you're failing, I'm going to say this gently, is because you're listening to fools. You're listening to fools. Someone tells you in order for you to move forward in the future, you have to understand where you come from in the past. And you decided you want to take the shortcut by not going back and honoring your ancestors, number one. Number two, not looking into your past to see where the foundation has already been set for you. And then number three, understanding this demographic of in this country, what you're supposed to expect from people and what you're not supposed to expect from people. And today is one of these things where I get to say there's certain things I'm not going to expect from a lot of people that I call friends anymore. And I want you to stop making these assumptions. I'm not like anybody that is promoting politics. I had opinions and points of views during elections. They were not materialized, and that is now over with, and that is now done. These people have won their seats or they have lost their contests, and life goes on. They are in position. They are in power. They are who they are. Godspeed. Godspeed. We'll get into that a little bit later too. But to understand, slurs are not just insults. They often act as tools of discrimination, encoding, and promotion of negative, oversimplified, and overused stereotypes. So let's get right into it, because I made a post and I did a live, and some of my folks, understood, and some of my folks don't. Let me get one thing straight with everybody, and I'm going to say this very gently. I do not play that shit at all. You can have whatever excuse you want to say to me. You can send me whatever information you want to send to me. I'm telling you as my friend. And if you want to continue to be my friend, understand this. I, the individual, this black man, this black American with historical inheritance in this country, in this land, I don't play that game of comparisons to any primates. I don't care who it is. I don't care. Because as I said before, you can walk a mile in my shoes, but you damn sure can't step in my feet, and neither can I yours. I see the struggles that you guys go through. I see some of the hangups that you guys go through, and I pray for you, and I wish you Godspeed, and I'm right there for you, giving helpful words, and, if I can lend a helping hand, I'm all there for it. But what I'm not going to do is pretend like this passive-aggressive fascination with comparing black people to apes is something that I'm going to get along with, or use whataboutisms. Whataboutisms. What about it? I think that that's the most slave-driven train of thought that anybody can have, that when somebody makes a mistake, that you go, well, what about this person? Well, what about this? Well, what about this? You sound real fucking childish. You sound real childish. What about this? Well, what about? You sound like little cayuse. Oh, is that a stereotype? Is that a stereotype? I'm sorry, let me say it better. You sound like petulant children. And you're grown-ups. And you know better. And you got children. And you got grandchildren. And some of them are mixed heritage. And they're going to have to deal with this shit at one time and at one point in their lives. They're going to have to deal with it. Whether you think so or not. They're going to have to deal with it. Because somebody is going to pick apart their DNA. And if they ain't prepared for it, if they're not prepared for it, and they're hearing this stuff at home, because this is where it starts. Because me and Bryce started it off. He was like, well, it's not racist at home. It's racist at home. It's racist in public. It's racist in your mentality. It's racist in your DNA. Don't tell me. Because if you say it, you thought about it already. It was already in your heart, the brain in your heart, and it was already in the brain in your mind, and both of them spoke. and you beat your chest loud and proud. Yes, I'm going to make this comparison. Yeah, Obama said this, and this person said that. And Rich, didn't you see? I say, listen, let me tell you something. I didn't condone it when Obama said it. I didn't condone it when Hillary said it. I don't condone it when Chuck Schumer or Nancy Pelosi or Jasmine Crockett. I think that if you're an intelligent human being that's a leader, you show the attributes of your character, and you don't have to denigrate yourself or anyone else in order to be effective. Because at the end of the day, with the accountability that we're asking for it in character. But we're going to go ahead and let the character slip, though, right? Is this what we're doing now? We're being selective about the morality. We're being selective about the morality now, because I need to know. Are we at a crossroads in 2026 with a lot of you, some of you that I know? Are we at a morality point where I need to reevaluate certain situations about how you really feel? Because you can't separate me from my people. I'm going to say this once again. You cannot separate me from my people. And for a lot of my black friends over there, that ha ha ha, that he, because I speak so freely and I speak eloquently and I speak with words that you can hardly pronounce, get a dictionary. Get a thesaurus like I did. Go stand in front of a mirror and practice enunciating your words correctly. Get educated. Don't worry about how I talk. Don't worry about if I don't use slang. Don't worry about if I don't sit back and drink Henny and want to go do this and want to do that. So what? Everybody want me to live in these stereotypes because you got one. It's not how I roll. That's the reason why I say I'm international, multicultural, because I don't hang on to these stereotypes and these stigmas of people that I have to interact with their lives, because their lives are important to me, the value of them. And that's part of the problem that we have here in America, is that you don't place any value on the lives of the person standing in front of you. You can take certain liberties and have an expectation because your environment has given you privilege to be the way that you are and to hold on to some basic prejudices that should have been done away with in the 80s. Oh, we don't want to talk about that now, right? No? Okay, let's move on. Let us move on. The relationship between slurs and stereotypes, encoders of prejudicial views, expressions that endorse the negative stereotypes of a specific group, stereotype enforcement. The level of offensiveness of a slur can often directly correlates with the societal perception of the targeted group. Using slurs can create false beliefs. One of the things I want to say to everybody is that, yes, I am a black man, but I do not have an answer to all of the black questions that I get asked. I do not have an answer for how someone else behaves, or someone else has a certain characteristic, or you see a certain lifestyle. All Greek people ain't the same. All Chinese, Laos, Vietnamese people, they aren't the same. They have different core values. They have different beliefs. But the difference is that they have an understanding of themselves and they have an understanding of their culture. And there is always a uniting in them when it comes to blanketed issues that affect them as a culture. There is hardly any division when it comes to that because they understand and are principled about how they came here to America, how they were treated, how they got past these places of bad treatment by working together and then segregating themselves in their own communities. Anybody want to ask me, am I a big proponent of segregation? I think that there's some areas and that there's some groups that are better off by themselves. We already have segregated communities in our urban communities where it's predominantly black and predominantly poor and predominantly individuals are facing mass incarceration and murder and suicide and mental health and teen pregnancy and the like, and we're all crammed into different places, collectively together. There are places where it's all black. That's segregation. And it's by rent, and it's by mortgage rates, and it's by access to jobs that people are in the conditions that they're in. Let's not play around with redlining. Let's not play around with this social map that they're drawing to redistrict everybody and to group people together and segregate them from one another and draw lines down this town and stuff like that. And then this is where the outside developers come in. Why? Because they did this for years. Get us to fight against each other, get us to separate, draw a line. Next thing you know, hey, who are you? You lose your identity. And for Chester, listen, for Chester, you guys are now the new frontier. You are. You had people that said, we don't want outsiders talking about Chester, and we don't need these type of people saying anything about us, and they don't know anything about us. But you're using the same battle plan that you used down in Upper Darby, though. That's all I'm saying to you, Chester. I ain't got to come to none of y'all little funky meetings. You don't want a black man support? Fine. You got a man that can walk around an old abandoned school and take pictures and then put it out prematurely and, say he doing something or whatever. In the meantime, they trying to bring outside developers in here so they can get the land for cheap, so they can build cheaply on top of land. And instead of building you a school again, or instead of getting you something for your infrastructure, or even better yet, if you wanted to do redevelopment, how come you not redeveloping with the people already inside of Chester? You don't know no brick masons. You don't know nobody. Go carpenters. You don't know the union can't handle this? Can't? Chester can't handle Chester? You got to get somebody who says we don't want outsiders, but he want to bring in outsiders. We gonna get to the fool part. We gonna get to the fool part because you're gonna love it. They function to make stereotypes appear natural or true. Slurs maintain social hierarchy, creating a common knowledge through repetition. Slurs normalize stereotypes by making them a part of a continuing narrative that justifies discriminatory behavior or attitudes. So it's a conscious, unconscious thing, or something I'm used to doing, or I didn't mean anything by it. That sounds like kindergarten. That sounds like kindergarten. Now, don't get me wrong. And we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about exceptions. We're going to get into a whataboutism, Because part of this social construct with slurs that reinforces prejudices, that ignores individuality, that is a social devaluation of a group of people, we do have exceptions. We have appropriation. Do you understand what it means to reclaim a slur and then turn it around from the derogatory meaning? That's what the N-word is, folks. The N-word is a derogatory term created to demean any person that is perceived to be lazy and or ignorant, but it is attributed mainly to black people in general, brown people in general, even some Muslim and Arabs in a certain context. It's been used. I've heard it. I've listened to it. I've been around it. And then there have been times among some of my close personal friends, I've checked that shit because I've said, don't use that around me. I'm not that type of black man that's going to just laugh that off because I come from a different set of circumstances, and that's just me. You can do that with your other black friends, but you can't do that with this black friend, because I don't do that with you. I have Italian friends who have a history in America of being lynched in the South. I have Irish friends who have been lynched in the South. I have Asian friends that have been blown off of cliffs in the Midwest. I have indigenous people. I have Hispanic people that have been treated badly in their own countries and sought asylum here and worked their way through the American system that are still treated badly, and I hear their stories. So again, when I hear these things, I just can't go and let my hair down at one moment and stand up for something else at the other. I can't compromise myself in that and be in conflict with my spirit. If I'm in the spirit and I'm worshiping the spirit and the truth and I'm dealing with people that way, I can't have conflict. That's the difference between me and a lot of other people when it comes to these matters. I'm not going to be conflicted inside of my soul and my spirit that if I'm talking to somebody and they may seem like they're laughing at it, but they're not laughing. They're laughing to keep from being embarrassed. And I think that a lot of you need to go and check yourself with a lot of your friends that are persons of color and see if some of these off-colored jokes that you've been saying around them actually bother them, and accept their truth. For me, I didn't care that it was the Obamas. I didn't care about that. Everybody knows I'm not a fan of presidents. I'm not a fan of people on pedestals. I don't do that. I don't care who the president is. I'm not putting you on a pedestal. I don't put Jay-Z and Beyonce on pedestals. They don't rule nothing in my life. No movie star has me stop and say, oh. I don't do that. For what? You're not feeding my kid. You're not feeding me. I'm feeding them. We have to put things in perspective. Y'all want people to idol worship. It's idolatrous to see, Mr. Mayor, Mr. State Senator, Miss Representative. Y'all bow down to people, man. Humans with titles. I don't understand you. But you're ready to beat my ass and take me off the planet. Exceptions, reclaiming terms in some cases that target a group may turn around a derogatory meaning. Contextual differences. The impact of a slur changes significantly depending upon whether it is used by an out-of-group member to attack or by an in-group member as a form of communication, making context critical to understand its meaning. Okay, now, I already told y'all how I feel about the N-word, and I've used it. But it's not part of my everyday speech. It's not. In fact, the only time that I really have to use the N-word is when I come to Chester. Because sometimes in certain contexts, certain people that I'm talking to, they don't get this, but they get that. And I got to be that to communicate that. It ain't got nothing to do with you. Because contextually, this is what we also have in a white supremacist society where they culturally appropriated a slur back to themselves and use it now with so much impunity that everybody thinks that they can use it. Okay, that's fine. Please don't use it around me. Let's get into the last part of this where I explain and identify 5 different types of fools. Hold on a second. Let me pull this back real quick. 5 different types of fools. The book of Proverbs identifies 5 types of fools. 5. The simple fool, the silly fool, the sensual fool, the scorning fool, and the steadfast fool. What are these fools? Why is it important to understand the level of foolishness that you got to deal with in life? Because there's a lot of fools out there that disguise themselves in different types of ways. And we can be fooled in many different ways, but the 5 main ones that you can be fooled was the simple fool. And they're easy to spot. Simple fools are people who are easily led. You can tell them anything and they'll believe it and they'll run with it. They'll go back and repeat a lie. They'll go back and say, this is the truth. They'll go and run. Oh, this, even no matter what this person does, this person can get caught stealing. And a fool is going to follow them. They are extremely naive. They have zero connection to the ether. They have zero connection to the harmonics. They have zero connection to spiraling upwards. Zero connection. They lack discernment. They lack foresight. They are easy manipulated, and they are vulnerable to trouble. They will get you in trouble. A fool and his money are soon departed. A fool and a nice car are soon departed. A fool and a woman will get you booked. Fool number 2, the silly fool. The silly one. We got a lot of silly fools. Overly emotional, reacts impulsively, despises instruction, and believes that their own way is always right, often reacting without thinking. Seen a lot of that in the protests. Silly fools. And so they say, oh, Rich, people have the right to protest, they got the right to say and do it because they're angry and they want to do something about it. Yes, I am a firm believer that people do have the right to protest legally. Legally. I do believe that you have the right to protest in a safe manner. I do believe that you do have the right to voice your opinion as loudly as you want to. Yes, I firmly believe that. I don't have a problem with that. I have a problem when you invade spaces. I have a problem when you impede people's travel. I have a problem when you use children. And people say, oh, well, children have the right to protest, da, 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 da. Do you know what rights children have? Anybody? Anybody? Do you know what rights children have?
The same rights as their parents.
Nope.
What rights do they have?
They have the rights that we can enforce under the Constitution.
The same rights as their parents.
No, it's different.
Wow.
You can go get a driver's license, right?
Yeah, when I turn a certain age.
Right. Who has to give that permission?
My parents.
You have a right to go and visit different places and go for day trips and everything like that. Can a child do that by themselves?
No, they need their parents.
So their constitutional rights are under guardianship by you. So when a institution and or school usurps your authority, you have to give the yes and or no, especially fathers under the Pennsylvania Constitution, because there are forms of discipline. Sometimes discipline is corporal and sometimes discipline is verbal, as in I told you to sit down, or I told you not to go here, or I don't want you over with this person, blah, blah, blah. You have that constitutional right to stop them from doing something that you feel as though might be harmful or go against your value. The school does not have the right to tell your child to usurp your authority because your child is not a ward of the state. Now watch this.
Except unless they're in the doctor's office, and then they're over 12.
Now, watch this. And even that's wrong. And even that's wrong. Even that's wrong. Because of medical reasons and because of percentage established individuals getting certain laws passed under the cover of we're giving our youth better health care, they've allowed it to be permissible where your child can lie to you, or your child can keep things from you, or your child doesn't have to let you know about certain things because medically, everyone has rights, HIPAA laws.
But I think that was put in to be able to find the kids that are being abused.
Yes, I get that. Right. But here's the thing. If you come across a kid that's not willing to talk and you see those signs of abuse, that's one thing. But when you have a child who is fully functioning and something's going on medically with that child, and that doctor, nurse, or licensed practitioner says, you don't have to tell your father, and then something happens to that child medically, and you find out about it afterwards, how pissed are you going to be?
I'm going to be very pissed. I never liked leaving.
Right.
I used to take my daughters to the doctors.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not leaving.
Right.
Like, what you mean, 12? Okay. Whatever you need to talk to her, you can talk to her, but I'm here too. I'm her parent.
Exactly.
Full time.
Exactly.
So I'm here.
Exactly.
So I need to know what's going on.
And that's the reason why we have to hold on to the constitutional aspect that no one can usurp you past your value and your morals of your house, because I can tell you right now, there are a lot of teachers, instructors, principals, assistant principals. There are a lot of school district employees. There are a lot of school district board members. There are a lot of school board members who really think they can tell you what to do with your kid. They really, no, bro, they really think that they can tell you what to do with your kid, and that your kid, and I'm going to use Upper Darby Township, as I'm gonna use Upper Darby Township as the example because they just had a little forum where they allowed the children to exercise constitutional rights, but outside the confines of the school during school time.
How was during school time?
Okay. You have the right to protest as a young person student, either before school or after school.
Okay.
You cannot, as a principal, vice principal, disciplinarian, dean of students, anything, tell a child that we're going to allow you to leave school premises at a certain time.
And stand in the middle of the street.
Stand in the middle of the street. And then for you to come back so we can make sure that you're still present in the school day. And then you have two politicians, both grown-ups, mingling around with 13, 14, and 15 and 16-year-old kids. Right. You see what I'm saying? You see the optics to that, bro?
I understand the optics, but it's like a field trip. It's like
okay, field trip needs permission, right?
I know, but it's like a on school field trip.
Okay, watch this. An on school field trip like they did up in Phoenixville and other places, would you take them out to your nice brand new beautiful track.
Right.
And we're going to have an exercise in civil rights and we're going to have an exercise on the school grounds. Right. They could have did anything on the school grounds with this. Nobody would have complained.
Right.
It's when you left it off of school grounds and you put children and other people in jeopardy, knowing the sentiment that in Upper Darby Township, there are a lot of people driving by that want ICE to come and get illegals. Okay? I'm saying it very clearly because it's all over social media and it's all in the feeds. There are people who denounce the fact that not that the kids don't have the constitutional right to protest, but that people made decisions past their children. Past them with their children, rather, I should say. Okay? You had some children that were still inside the school who did not go out and protest, and you had teachers that told them, you might as well leave.
Say what? You
might as well leave.
Because
the kids left the school, bro. The kids, some of them came back in and got, clocked back in. But a good majority of them stayed right there in that intersection like they always do when they fighting, when they always raiding at McDonald's, when they always raiding the stores down there, the dollar store, the Acme. When they down there robbing and stealing, you know what I mean? When they down there robbing and stealing, it's the same intersection. So they already know where to congregate. They already know which corners to be on. They already know where to meet. Like, they already know this.
Why they got to be robbing and stealing?
Because they rob and steal, bro.
Who?
Those kids from the schools.
They're hungry. I'm just saying. Like, I've never known a person that has something at home to rob or steal.
Bro, let me tell you something. So our Wawa on 69th Street.
They're about to shut it down.
No, it's done.
Yeah. Because they ain't making no profit.
Since 1968.
Walk out with anything.
And hold on. These are kids that got stuff too. You just listen.
But what I'm saying is when you say walk out with anything, everybody's going to walk out with anything.
Okay then. So again.
I know it's not A, but
yeah. But it's here's the thing. It's not and it's not all of them. But when you turn around, you have girls stealing because they know that the cops not going to touch them because they're girls. Right. Okay? So they going to run, make a scene, run out the door. Mm-hmm. And I've watched this happen at this Wawa. Right. You got the bulls that are just as tall as us. Right. You know what I mean? They lanky and fast. So if they listen, they come across with a right cross, it's going to touch your jaw. Right. Even as an older person, it's going to touch your jaw because they lanky and fast and they got that snapback rubber band strip. Right. So you got to keep an eye on these young bulls. Right. Okay? Do. You got to watch your six with them. Okay? For real. And I tell you, I see them all the time. I know you'll sneak me, bro. I know you do. Get over here where I can see you. And they just start laughing. I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. I know you, bro. You might not like what I say. Get over here where I can see you. Or I have to change my position. Right. Because I know what I'm dealing with. Right. I just can't say things out of my mouth around these young bulls and think it's going to fly. Because they on a different atmosphere. Okay? They are. And it's not a bad thing.
It's youth.
It's youth. And I know that I was on a different atmosphere when I was 18, 23 and everything like that. I was, I was way on a different atmosphere. You know what I'm saying? But again, if we want to reach them, why are we allowing silly people, simple people to manipulate our kids?
Now, was this started, do you think this was just in civics class, a show of how to activate the people, how to protest, how to speak your mind, it could have been done that way. If it was done that way, then I still say the permission slips are needed. But if it was a show to show them how to protest and how to activate, because we did it here in Chester, and
you did it on the school grounds.
No, they marched from here, from the school to the administration building.
Okay. Was it during school time?
Yeah.
See, I'm going to say this.
I'm just saying, it has happened.
It has happened. It should.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm gonna say this.
I don't know about the.
I'm gonna say it shouldn't happen. I'm gonna say it shouldn't happen.
And that was more about the kids and the school district.
Right. Again, it was things about them socially.
Right.
It was an exercise,
right.
and it was an exercise and exercising. So, but here's the thing: was it done tastefully? Were the kids out in the middle of the street?
They were our kids, so I think this was like 2000.
Yeah. I mean,
10 or 11. You feel me? I don't know what year it was, but I remember them talking about it,
right,
when they did it, and I was like, well, I don't remember that, but I guarantee there were people that took advantage, of them leaving, of them walking. You feel me? And
But see, that's my thing, right? If you let a child and you're promoting this social activity, okay, and you let a child out in the street, and let's say, God forbid, what happened out in like Phoenix, Arizona, or something like that, when they were doing the same thing, that they get hit by a car. Who's liable for that?
The school.
But that's not putting people, and we had the principal come out and say like about 8 to 9 times that they provided safety, and it was safe, but where the Upper Darby High School is, across the street is a graveyard.
Right.
Okay? And across that graveyard is a path built for one.
Right.
The rest of it's all ice. It's still all ice dunes around the Perkins. It's still all ice dunes around the Dairy Queen.
Right.
Still all ice dunes.
Right.
It was on that day less than freezing weather outside.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? You had girls out there in midriffs, bro. All on video.
Right.
All on video.
Right.
Hold on. Not protesting. They interviewed several people, but here's the deal. You got people who are council people, and one's on a board up here in Chester that are holding classes every Tuesday to teach them civic engagement. Hold on. And paying them. And paying them with a $200 gift card. Let's go, bro.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Oh, I'll say who it is. Kyle McIntyre and Haley Griena. UDTJ. I'll say who it is. I'll exactly say who it is. Because I'm going to tell you right now, keep your kids away from them. Bro, listen, I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious, bro.
This is for me.
They are dangerous.
This is not for you.
I know,
right?
but they dangerous,
when I'm over
bro.
here moving my hand and doing this is for me because for me it's more like a lesson in how to speak your mind. You understand what I'm saying? Everybody has a right to speak their mind.
Absolutely.
I don't have a problem with a protest.
Me neither.
I know if it's 100 people out there protesting, there's going to be at least 10 of them out there for no good reason at all.
Absolutely.
They don't want to change anything. They don't want to move anything. They're looking for an opportunity to do something.
Absolutely.
You understand what I'm saying? And that's what happens. So for the 100 people, there's 10%.
Right. But see, here's the thing. I'm going to disagree, though. You know why? Because when we did the Ridley March,
right?
Okay? When we did that Ridley March, that Ridley March was organized
through many different organizations.
Hold on, of course through many different organizations, but everybody had a code of conduct. You see what I'm talking about?
Every march doesn't have that.
Right. So again, your message doesn't get across if the code of conduct isn't established. Okay? There was no code of conduct for children when you have less adults.
True.
Okay? We had adults in our protests when we protested in Ridley that secured these kids from front to middle to mid, back, and back. So that way nobody would get out of line. And we did have one person that got out of line and went off the beaten path that everybody was going. And that one person got beat up by a store owner because that one person decided to confront people with the protest, and that's what we weren't there for. We were not there to be confrontational. This was said at the very beginning. Okay, and this was tastefully done by the current state rep, Carol Kazim. And I was proud to march in that protest. Absolutely proud to be a part of it because the objective, the execution, the discipline, nobody in the protest got in the way of any passing cars. We stayed in the lane that we were dedicated to. We went to the area where we were. We got out of the street. We protested in the Chick-fil-A parking lot. And then when we crossed the street at the light, we didn't snarl up traffic. We didn't impede anybody's progress. We peacefully went over to the Ridley Municipal Building where we were met with confrontation, and we let them fists fly. We did. The men that were there and some of the women. But the men that were there, I commend you because y'all showed what y'all was supposed to do. Saw a racist, punched them in the mouth. I was there for it, bro. But I'm going to say this also. There were more women and children than men.
Because men get shot. Men get hung. Men get dragged. Men lose things.
Uh-huh.
You know this for a fact.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I know.
Am I lying?
But I also know.
Am I lying?
I also know that there were a lot.
You can't even answer.
No.
Right.
It does happen.
Okay.
It does happen. Right. But I also know a bunch of men together, 30, 40,
right,
will make people drop their weapons. Will make people think about.
No one wants to
take that risk.
No, not take that risk. No one wants to unify like that. See, that's power right there.
I know that's power, bro.
Right, 30 men walking together.
Yeah.
It's not power when it's only 6 men.
You could do that with 10 men.
No.
Yeah, you can.
Not as powerful as 30.
No, not as powerful as 30, but you could absolutely make effect with 10 men, but you got to find 10 men.
You got to find 10 men that are willing to lose something.
Or make a cold sacrifice?
Yeah. Everybody ain't willing to make a cold sacrifice, bro.
I know that, bro.
Listen,
I know it's a lot of people. I know it's a lot of people that unfurl. Listen, I know it's a lot of people that unfurl their cape, but they ain't going up against their elected official.
Why ain't they?
I said they're not going to.
I ain't got no problem.
They ain't going to cross that man or woman that's feeding them.
I ain't got no problem.
Okay, they ain't going to cross that man or woman that's giving them recognition as the black man.
I ain't got no problem with it.
I mean. That's not going to happen. And we know this, and we see it. But see, here's the thing. I want to say this personally. I'm not playing with y'all no more. Not you, Bryce. You know what I'm talking about, because we don't play, bro. We for real. I'm talking about I'm not playing the game PC anymore with none of you.
But why were you playing that?
I wasn't playing the game. I hit a role of silence as PC. Right. Now, it's just going to be straight up. Yo, don't say that.
Do you think the PC was to protect yourself or to protect other people?
Protect them. Because see, like I said, where I come from, bro, that shit is something that I'm used to, but I don't like it. Now I'm at an age where I just don't like it.
What, political correctness?
Yeah, being PC, bro. I don't like it because you know why? Do you
think that you can relate that to the tragedies that you felt, right? Because I think I've fell back from what I used to do after 2024 because I got some venom in me. You understand what I'm saying? Like,
you gotta let it out.
I don't want to really let it out.
See, that's the problem. While you got some venom in you that needs to be dispelled from your body, it's poisoning you.
It's not really poisoning me.
If it's being held in as venomous and you know it needs to go to the person that it needs to go to, bro.
So a snake doesn't die from their own venom.
Well, it's
You know
not.
what I'm saying? Like, so for me, that's the kind of venom I have. I don't have venom to tear someone apart or to tear them down.
Right.
I think I just have a lot of unspoken on beef.
Aggression?
Yeah. So, and if I do that, then I lose everything that I worked for over the past 7 years to bring people together.
No.
Shit.
No. No. Can I say this? Can I say this, Bryce? Okay. You have sponsored so many people are sons of CMPRadio.net, sons and daughters. So many people who have their platforms right now, you know, I ain't gonna name no names. You know, when you talking about us, you know who you are, have benefited from your platform from the very beginning. And guess what? They gone about their lives and done what they did, and you know, run their platforms and more powerful. You know, congratulations.
Absolutely.
You know, congratulations. Ain't nobody hating on nobody's success.
I want people to succeed.
Nobody hating on nobody's success. But the one thing that I see happening, and this is what's happening with me right now, is that here we are, you and I, as two history makers, two black history makers.
Right.
You and I, you having the black radio station in a black city, the longevity of it, the success of it, the award-winning accolades that you have for impactful shows, segments, news, current events, bringing politicians here to this forum, holding them accountable. Not many local radio stations in their heyday before they were absorbed by multimedia had that type of influence and power, save one radio station in Philly called WDAS.
Right.
Where they were the people station and started off as the people station.
Right.
Okay? So when a lot of people don't understand this dynamic, like I said, I personally met Mr. Tony Brown. I mean, I personally met that icon. I personally sat in that studio, you know, during the Quiet Storm. I'm one of the few people that have been to his house with his beautiful wife. And I'm one of the few people to ever cook a gourmet meal for this man.
Right.
Okay, and I'm proud of that fact that I got to meet, you know, him and his beautiful wife. I'm proud of the fact that I know where, you know, he used to reside in a secret location that nobody will ever know.
Right.
You know what I mean? I ain't never tell nobody, you know, about, you know, where it is, and I never will, because it was something that was very special for me in a moment in my time to meet an icon of such greatness and such power and position, and he's the most humblest man that you could ever meet, Bryce, and I'm trying to tell you, you exude that same excellence. Okay? So once again, I'm going to support those. I believe in underdogs. I believe in those that are striving on a daily basis. You come up with motivation every single day, whether you feel like it or not.
Oh, that's just hard.
I know, ain't it? I had to take a 23-day pause, bro.
You have to.
Yeah, I had to take a 23-day pause.
I was more mad at you for not answering the fucking phone. You feel me? Than anything else.
Right.
Right. But you know, so happy to hear you when I heard your voice.
I appreciate that, bro. But
I just wanted to, I'd say, all right, what we doing? Who we shooting at? You feel me? That's
bro.
the first thing I said. Who we shooting at?
I want to say this, that time that I needed for personal time and reflection wasn't necessary, because I was coming. I need people to understand this. My depression that I suffer from is from compounded grief.
Absolutely.
Okay. One death layered on top
of another. Right.
And they weren't just any old type of deaths. And, you know, not to say that no death is insignificant, but they were significant to me because these were people that directly shaped and formed my life.
Boy.
And had it's like the moorings being let loose from a ship. how the rope snap back when they let a new ship go off and and sail and hit the sea. Those moorings snapped for me. Father, mother, spiritual mother, grandmother, 2 murdered sons, and then my brother in arms. And when I read off his accomplishments, what people don't understand, what this man did for Delco, for veterans, that none of your politicians from Chester all the way down to Upper Darby weren't doing a damn thing for veterans, bro, until my brother stepped on the scene. We had a veteran service officer in media who got fired, because he was doing too much. Because at the time, they want to just give veterans a pittance. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Oh, we're doing this. Oh, happy Veterans Day. Happy Memorial Day. There's nothing happy about the Memorial Day, or you know what I mean? It's Memorial Day.
That's it.
It's Memorial Day. There's nothing happy about it. Okay.
When people really don't know what Memorial Day is, that's how they feel. Everything is happy.
Right, but they see the thing, you have to allow yourself to be educated. You have to allow yourself to be educated. Not that you want to be educated. You have to open up the door. And like how I tell people, like, if you want to meet a veteran, you want to talk to a veteran, introduce yourself and then shut up. That's it. That's the way to meet a veteran. Introduce yourself, shut up. The veteran will ask you questions. The veteran's going to pick you apart. But then the veteran's going to test you. They're going to drop a nugget. They're going to drop a jewel. And then the next time they see you, they want to see if you followed up on it. Because somewhere in your conversation, you told them about a problem or something like that, or an instance or something that is meaningful in your life, to stop and talk to that person, talk to that man, talk to that woman. And that man or woman who has been through that struggle that you respect as a veteran will give you the answer to what you need. And this is why veterans don't respect certain civilians, and I'm going to say this very freely, is because they help and they support people, and then they see people take advantage of their help and support and or don't follow their wise counsel, and so you wasted their time. They're wasting time. And nobody wants their time wasted. And what I want people to understand is that I'm an advocate for veterans affairs. I don't speak for the veteran. I don't wear this hat for the veteran. Right. I wear this because it reminds me of my dad when he was in the bush in Vietnam, and he wore one like this. Okay, it's a safari hat. The buttons memorialize or commemorate the 50 years of Vietnam and that conflict. And the one in the square with the Iraqi symbol on it is for my brother Brian Sharif Taylor, the C Sergeant. Okay, these are symbols that I carry further. So when people ask me the question, "What are these about?" It's a icebreaker, because they'll ask me, "Well, what's that about?" It commemorates the 50 year of the Vietnam War. My father served, and these are some of the things that happened to him and the attributes that make me the person that I am. So it's interesting conversation pieces as to why I elect to wear it. Same way that I wear, a camouflage flak jacket to remind civilians that there are veterans who died wearing these types of uniforms, wearing these types of clothes, and that when I wear them, it's in honor of that fact that these men and women gave me the right and the ability to do things a certain way without disrespecting their memory. I had an actual guy who served in Afghanistan. So on my jacket, I got the old Ironside patch from the USS Constellation. And the history of it is, of course, old Ironside's the ship from the not Civil War area, from the American Revolutionary War area. But it's to talk about this particular ship that has a full complement of troops, tanks, armored personnel, helicopters, jets, blah, blah, blah. It's the full Monty with this type of ship that's stationed down in Fort Benning. See, I know the history of it. So when I gave it to him, the guy was like, "Oh, so you just not wearing the coat?" "No, sir. I understand what that patch means." And that's the difference between me, is that I have that understanding because somebody taught me, and I was receptive to listening So before I go out and say something to somebody else, I know how to impart this knowledge in a way so that people can be enlightened by it. I'm not putting you down. But if you don't know something and you wish to learn, then learn. I don't know everything. That's why I still go to classes. That's why I still go to seminars. That's why I still go for instructional learning. Every day I'm teaching myself something new in Black history. I did not know about Mr. James Durham from out of Philadelphia. I never heard the story about that man being the first physician in the United States and the things that he has done. I never heard that story until today. And that's why I'm sharing it, because I had to teach myself something that we haven't been taught. And if people look on my page when I advertise for tonight's segment, I also put up what happened to us from 1993 to 1998. And I put up that commission that was done on the effects of the American black male, not black family, not black wife, not black kids, the black males, what they did to us. Because again, Bryce, we getting blamed. My generation, we're getting blamed for what happened in the 90s. Oh, y'all guys didn't tell us. Y'all didn't know. Y'all was doing this. Y'all was doing that. Well, y'all got hit with one pandemic. We got hit with 4. All at once. Guns delivered right in the street. In the street.
No problem.
With no problem. On pallets. On pallets, on Crenshaw.
They put them on
MLK.
They put them on They put them on trains. They used to ride through there.
Yeah.
Like where are all these guns going?
Where are these guns going?
And why did this train stop here?
It stopped in Chester, and cases got kicked off the joint where they were broken up and where you could see them scattered on the ground. Or how the cocaine was somehow mysteriously baking soda, water, heat, swirl it, ice, crack. Arm & Hammer needs to be sued.
Why?
They made a killing.
They make great toothpaste.
It sure does.
Right.
Yeah. Bicarbonate, the whole nine.
All that good stuff.
But you didn't really have any no frills baking soda back in the day, and then a whole bunch of companies became customers of baking soda because Arm & Hammer was killing the game. And they knew what it was for. If you go back and look at the graphs of their production at that time,
it went up.
It went up during that era.
Absolutely.
They knew what they had as a product, and they contributed to it mightily without it being legal, but the morality of it.
There was no morality in it.
Of course, there you go. There was no morality because you know why?
Fuck them niggas.
Let them kill themselves.
Yeah.
Okay. So
that's what it's always
hold
been.
on. So let's get to the.
Has it not been always that?
Yeah. Well, let's get back to the monkey part. Okay. Let's get back to the monkey part where AIDS came in.
AIDS.
Yeah, AIDS. HIV. We got that too, bro. We got mass incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
We got crack.
Mm-hmm.
We got who else did we get?
What else did we get?
You got mass incarceration.
Mm-hmm.
You got homicides again.
Right.
HIV.
Right.
And the HIV was a killer.
And the thing, especially, absolutely.
It was a killer.
It was.
But who did they blame?
The monkeys in Africa?
The monkeys in Africa. Here, hold on. So here we go
They
again.
blame the bats for COVID.
Yeah, but see,
they always blame an animal.
Listen, I know, but that's
somebody
that's
in
because
the lab
that's
somewhere playing with these things.
Of course it is. That's why they had to go find the monkeys that escaped from down in what, North Carolina. The monkeys that escaped, they had to go find them bad boys.
Monkeys escaped?
Yeah, they had some monkeys with COVID or something like that, and they had to kill like 4 or 5 of them, and then there was one they was looking for a while before if they killed that one.
I've just been in the house. I've been
high. Bro, listen, I ain't watching
no
do
news
it.
or nothing.
Listen,
right now wrestling's on.
Yeah, what the Fox say, bro? What the fox say? But I'm saying these are the things and the stereotypes that we have continuously been through. And then when I tell people on a personal level, I'm a desegregation kid. And I really hate talking about that one because I'm not proud of being a desegregation kid.
Why not?
Because it took away from me learning how to be in my own environment around my own people. It did. It did.
I went to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and walked down. When I said I was on the other side of the train tracks, and I just closed my eyes and I could hear the screaming. I could feel the heat, bro. Like to go and sit there and listen and see what they built there, what they have there now, and then hear about the stories about what was there before and how we loved on each other and helped each other. It was 3 movie theaters on that block. You feel me? Like it was a real, that was growth.
Bro, every black neighborhood in Philadelphia had a movie theater.
So my thing is, what happened?
What happened was we got integrated into a burning house.
I mean, Martin Luther King said that.
Yeah, we did. We got integrated into a burning house.
But I think we got integrated into a burning house to be used as firewood.
Absolutely.
Right? To keep the house burning.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Because
the same way we're getting integrated back into a burning house right now by caping for other people and not taking care of ourselves.
and when we say caping for other people, who are you talking about?
These illegals. More specifically, these illegals specifically.
See, that's where we differ.
Bro, listen to me. I'm gonna say this.
Just
Can I go
me.
Can I go to any country right now and
No.
enter any country without a passport, without a visa? Can I go to any other country right now? Me. Can I go to?
Is your country under civil war? Do you have cartels running it, or people shooting and killing council members and people that are going against?
You mean here in America?
Yeah.
You mean here in America?
No, I'm asking you.
Yeah,
Where?
bro.
Where?
What you mean where?
Who?
I grew up. Listen, bro. We grew up ducking these bullets, man.
From who?
From who?
Yeah. From your own people?
Cops.
Okay.
Your own people,
Right.
some other people.
It was still-
hold on, Jamaican shower posse.
Right.
Bro, listen, stop playing. You want me to name them?
No,
you want me to name them?
Don't name them.
Okay, because I'll go down the list.
Right.
I'll go down the list.
But when you really,
with some triads.
when you really think about it, right? What?
We ain't had no. Hold on, we ain't had no wars here, bro. We ain't no cartels here.
Listen, when you really think about what America stands for, right, and what America was, it was a country full of people who, at one time or another, were illegal.
Bro,
Now, listen.
it was a open country that everybody came into until they started establishing rules of conduct, and it went against people who were already here. The people who immigrated here, Mayflower, above those ships and everything like that, those are naturalized immigrants. But again, there were people
Did you
already
let
in
them
Canada.
in your country?
Huh?
Did they let them in the country?
Yes.
Right. Let them in.
Hold on.
So
Wait,
get-
hold on.
so-
Not just let them in.
Right.
They processed them.
And they did it. They did it with Cuba, didn't they?
Okay.
And that's
They-
where Scarface came from.
Right.
They sent all the criminals here.
But hold on.
Go
But
ahead.
they processed them. You had at least 3 million people who came across a border undocumented.
Well, they working. They doing things you don't want to do.
Bro, all of them ain't
Taking
working.
mushrooms and
all of them
oranges.
ain't working.
All of them ain't
I'm
thieves,
gonna
and
say,
all
hold
of
on.
them ain't
And you know what?
rapists, and all of them ain't
I'm glad everybody says that. Oh, they're doing the jobs you don't want to do. How about this? Why don't you take the clause off the 13th Amendment with these brothers that can't get a job, and let's see if they'll go and pick some vegetables.
Niggas ain't going out there
Listen,
to pick
I'm
no
dead serious.
vegetables.
They still picking cotton down in the South, bro. Stop playing.
Who? Where?
Black people.
They own that land.
They still picking it,
But they own that land.
and they still picking it,
Hold on. But they own that land.
and they still picking it.
They're not slaves.
Okay, I know that.
Right.
And guess what? They got black people working at these cotton mills that are still picking it.
All right. Well, they
Okay,
they own the
they
land.
want to, and for money, right?
Yeah,
for money,
yeah,
okay,
yeah,
right.
okay.
But check this out. Companies that hire illegals, it works against our best interest because they're paying them at a lower rate anyway, so it diminishes us on the job market value.
That just
Okay?
keeps America producing.
Right. So these corporations that use the illegals, they need to be held to task too, bro. Because if you didn't use that type of labor,
Get them legal.
okay, right. But here's the thing: you got people. We're the only people in America that are held captive by a clause
What clause is that?
in the 13th Amendment.
Okay, the clause was created because we were once slaves. Correct? I'm just asking a question. You gotta
bro.
answer it.
Yeah, bro. Yeah.
Am I right?
No, the clause was created in order to empower the 14th Amendment in order to make sure that we did not get any type of federal reparations back for the years that they knew that they whipped us, beat us, stole us, and stole all of our generational wealth.
So if we
But the
have
clause in the
a
13th
problem with somebody, it shouldn't be the person that's being houses ran up in, because we dealt with that. Everything that we're watching right now, at one point we were dealing with police kicking in your door
and I'm gonna ask you a
grabbing
question.
people.
And I'm gonna ask you a question. When these folks came across illegally and been in this country 10, 20 years, blah, 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 right? All right, illegally. And I'm not talking about the new arrivals, but let's talk about the people that have been here for a number of years. What, did they say anything?
No.
No, all right.
Did they say anything when?
When we were going through our troubles.
They were illegal.
Right.
So they didn't say anything.
That's right, because you know you're wrong. Because you know you're wrong.
Yeah, just like
because you know you're wrong.
Just like most of our community don't say anything. Most of our community is not illegal.
For what?
Because
For what?
they
When
know
we
they're wrong.
when we hold on, and when we also know that we're not going to get the social justices that we've seen our counterparts for years, and we're still going to get treated the same way.
Who is our counterpart? There ain't no counterparts for us. There are no other slaves. The Japanese, they stick together.
Okay.
You can't even consider them slaves.
So
They
again-
was the Chinese.
so
The Chinese, they stick together. They go into China land and China world and Chinatown and do whatever they do there.
Absolutely.
They don't affect us.
Absolutely.
They don't help us.
Absolutely.
So when you think about what black people had to go through and you look at what Mexicans are going through right now, that kind of mirrors what we went through. If we don't help them, they're going to come right back to us.
No,
After they get them out of here, who do you think they're coming after?
Hold on. First of all,
listen to me. After they get them out of here, Rich, who they coming after next? Answer that question. If you can't say, oh yeah, let's get all these illegals out of here. Yeah, get them out of here. And then who they're coming after next? Who they coming after? Who's not unified? Who's not standing up? They not going after no Italians. They not going after no what? Well, like I said, you'll see when it happens.
Did you know that so many people who are not black under the Joe Biden administration either went to jail and or was fined or lost their businesses for not agreeing with the tapestry of the Americanism that they were promoting during COVID? You know how many people lost their jobs, their homes, their families, all of that stuff? Everybody's been come after. Did you know that in 1877 that they hung 5 Italian guys because
Only 5?
well they this is five documented. Right. 5 documented.
How many of us did they hang?
Plenty.
Okay.
Okay. No.
So why should I care about 5 Italians?
So I know that, but what I'm saying is this: if we stop with they did this to us, but it's less than this. They did the same things no matter what. They suppressed us altogether. And I know the history. They rose some people above us when they realized that, hey, we need to have a slave class system, and it can't be you Irish and it can't be you Italians, and you got to work for it. And as long as you work for it, now you made yourself and everything like that.
Can't be you Japanese.
It can't be you
Chinese.
Japanese. Can't be you Japanese. Because why? Because I'm saying this again. You know why? Because of the clause in the 13th Amendment.
They needed us because they knew what they took us
If
from.
that clause didn't exist in the 13th Amendment, bro, we would be on even parity with everybody. But because that clause exists, if you keep us
wrote that 13th Amendment? And
Mr.
if it's the government that
Mr.
wrote it, why are you sitting here saying
that was
to get the illegals out of here?
Hold on.
I didn't write the 13th Amendment.
Listen.
You didn't write it.
No,
Ain't nobody Mexican
But see, here's
write
the thing. Here's the thing. We already had a system in place since the Monroe Doctrine to not have illegals here. Since before this.
But they're here.
No, I know that they're here, bro. But again, it's the process. Don't we got to show ID for what we do?
No, we show ID because they want to know where the niggas at.
Okay.
It's not
All
for what
again,
we do.
Again, I just want to understand this. Why are we giving preferential treatment to people who have not contributed anything to the fabric of America? They have, bro, if you have not contributed, if you haven't come back into this black community that supported you at that store, and Mr. Rodriguez had his store for 20 years here illegally, and we done bought everything from out of his store. He ain't sponsor a Biddy League, a CYO. He ain't give nobody a free candy bar.
Guess what? Mr. Rodriguez don't open a store in a black community. He opened it in his community with his people so he can make his food for his people. Mr. Rodriguez don't open a store in the middle of smack dab in no black community. He opens it in a community.
What's that joint over there near Highland?
That's not a black community. That ain't nothing but, boy, you tripping. Go knock on some doors over there. They not speaking the English.
Oh, so they moved everybody out over there?
They been gone, bro.
See what I'm talking about?
You talking about the gardens?
Yeah.
They been gone.
See what I'm talking about, though?
And back in the day, back in the day when it was a black community, it was owned by a white person.
Right.
How many black-owned stores are in the city of Chester?
Right now?
Yeah.
Maybe
How many black-owned gas stations are in the city of Chester?
One.
Right. What? No. Where?
That one down on 290. The one down 291. No. Oh no, there's just black people working, huh?
No, ain't no black.
Ain't no black nothing. Huh?
No. You can't sit here and side with somebody when you never had a fair shot. You can sit here acting like we've had fair shots to get shit. Like we've had an opportunity to do shit for real. You think we have? I'm asking a question.
I'm gonna say
a fair shot.
We haven't had consistency, so there is no credibility in answering that. So the answer is no.
Yeah, I'm not sitting.
So the answer. Hold on. So watch this, Bryce. The answer is no.
Okay.
Because there hasn't been any consistency,
right.
And consistency breeds credibility. And since it's not credible enough to say that the United States has been consistent in making sure that we measured up, we leveled up at a certain point and we got taken back down.
So we
leveled up at a certain point and we got taken back down. But I'm gonna say this, bro. We leveled up with people before in the past.
We leveled up with our own.
Okay.
We leveled up with our own. We leveled up with the Indians, Oklahoma, the Trail of Tears. When we left and went to Oklahoma, and we became freedmen, and we started to build up on our own.
Bro, we was already freed out there, bro. Stop.
What you mean? Everybody that went out there wasn't already free?
There were people that was already out in the West coming in from Canada and stuff like that. The Seminoles the Choctaws. We were already in Massachusetts, bro. There was at least
so
we were already here.
Why are we still suffering?
Because we settle. We are the settlers. Black people are the settlers, bro. Of what? Everything. Let me get my piece of the pie. If I get my piece of the pie. We're the settlers. We settle for stuff, bro.
When you think about settling, you're talking about settling the land, or you're talking about just settling?
Settling for anything.
Okay.
Listen, bro. They could throw you some bells. Listen. How did we get conquered? They throw you some bells, some little trinkets, and everything. Ting 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 ting. I never heard bells before. And then turn you and hold on. The biggest one how they got is they throw us Hennessy. What do you think that gold
whiskey?
Yeah.
Whiskey?
Yeah.
You ain't never had this before.
You ain't never had this before.
Yeah.
And hold on. And they did it to everybody. You saw it in the Bruce Lee movie.
No, they pulled up with ships. They didn't know. You feel me? They gave trinkets. That other stuff.
And then
they asked them. They saw because we were capturing not slaves but indentured servants.
Indentured servants, right?
America's brutality is what changed slavery.
Absolutely.
The hanging, the beating, the torturing, the chattel cage, slavery, all of that changed the way the world saw slavery.
Of course.
You understand what I'm saying? Because it was okay to have indentured servants. It was okay to have somebody working for you and not getting paid that much. But it wasn't as to the magnitude. It wasn't violent.
It wasn't sexual in nature.
Right.
It wasn't where you had basically livestock and cattle and everything like that. And I get that, right? But I'm gonna just say this again.
Mm-hmm.
With that basis, that's the basic knowledge of the history. Right? That's the basic knowledge of the history. And there are cities that are out there that are thriving that are black. But you know what they don't have?
What don't they have?
They don't have the drama because they have a code of conduct in their communities.
Ooh.
These black communities that are out there that are thriving.
Name them so I can look them up and I can go visit them.
Hold on.
You feel me? You saying the black communities that are out there that are thriving, they have a code of conduct.
They have a code of conduct, bro. It's code of conduct. It's code of conduct.
I mean, you can give them to me after the show. You feel me? You look them up so we can go visit them and talk to them.
Oh yeah, listen. I'll give you 10 of them.
But these are the things that I know we need a code of conduct.
Yeah, we need a code of conduct because again, if we keep allowing ourselves to be driven by foolish people, okay? Because this is the narrative. We have to accept these things because fools are keep repeating that this is the way that we have to be when we know better intellectually that this is not working because it's a repetition and regurgitated stuff from back in the 60s and 70s.
Do you truly believe that the reason why ICE is getting rid of these people is because of just not having your paperwork? Why? What's the reason?
No, Donald Trump let these people go and do what they wanted to do. He just put a mandate out there, and these people just went and they did what they wanted to do because you could see it in their actions. Okay, again, I am 100% against being here illegally. What I am not for is the mishandling of human life. Okay, murder is murder to me. Any type of brutality against somebody that is unwarranted and unnecessary, and you are a armed individual, you got everything at your disposal. I'm not for that because I do understand the brutality, police brutality. I've been a victim of police brutality, so I know that feeling personally. You know what I mean? But there are certain people out here that don't personally know what we have been through. And then a lot of these folks who we have assisted over the years, they got over. And once they got over the hump, they left us still standing in the same spots. They left our parents standing in the same spots. They left our grandparents standing in the same spots when we helped get them over. Whether it was financially when they had their stores in our community, whether we assisted them with agriculture and groceries, whether we fed them, whether we protected them, whether we stood by them. And just for a little bit of money and just for some status and just because they moved across the street where the railroad tracks is a little bit better and the grass is a little bit greener, then you turn right around and go, pick yourself up by your bootstraps. Oh, you ain't good enough to do this. Oh, you ain't good enough to do that. But just like Delaware County Council and Upper Darby Township Council, we'll block a black man's success because we don't want people to praise him because he did more than what we did. And this is the problem that I have with
what black man are you talking about?
Me.
They blocking you?
Oh, bro, listen, let me tell you what's going on, right? So they having all these Black History meetups now for Black History Month.
Okay.
And they're talking about commemorating those who in the past 100 years have made history as Black Americans.
And you're not, what they not honoring you?
You ain't get an invitation? Did you get an invitation? You get an invitation to anything?
What I need an invitation for?
You a pioneer. You a black man.
Man, listen, I don't need nobody
No, but did you get an invitation though?
I don't want no fucking invitation.
You know what I want? What? I do.
All right, well.
You know why I want one?
Okay.
Because I just want to cement a legacy for my children to have. Because one day, one day.
See that rock you got in your hand?
Huh?
That rock
No.
See that rock in front of you?
Yeah, no.
No. Do you see it?
It'll never be in the museum.
Says who?
It'll never be in the museum.
Says who? You?
Yeah.
Why? I get it. I understand.
Remember when I tell you the story about Robert Smalls?
Yeah.
You know how long it took for them to give that man a statue?
You know how long it's taken for people that were unjustifiably executed? How long it's taken for people who were hung from trees? How long it's taken for any black man to say I did anything and get the respect? How long it took for someone to announce that Thomas Edison had black men in there working on electricity, that he didn't do it by himself, that Tesla, it takes a while, Rich, but I'm not knocking you for what you've done.
See, the thing
I'm not knocking you for who you are.
This is the problem, right?
Go ahead.
We keep waiting for good people to die before you give them their flowers. Okay,
I'll give you flowers right now.
I'm tired.
But you don't want my flowers.
Listen, I'm tired. No, I got your flowers is right here, bro. I'm sitting here.
You want some peonies or some shit like that?
I don't want no peonies, bro.
What the fuck you want?
I'm like
seriously.
You know what my favorite flowers are? I'm gonna tell you, no bullshit. Tulips.
Tulips. I'll get you some tulips. Next, I'll have some right there on the red tulips.
Red
tulips.
Red. Lord, listen, don't do that. Don't do that. Just go buy the bulbs and give me a bag of bulbs.
No, I'm not.
I'm dead serious. Give me a bag of bulbs, bro.
So you can plant them?
So I can plant them.
All right, I'll give you that too.
I'm dead serious.
I'm gonna have a vase right there, red tulips and some bulbs. Right. So
hold on. What did Lean say? Yeah, Rich. But when people, what did she say? When people love you, it's hard when people don't hear from you.
Yeah.
Lean. Hey, listen. Hey, Leslie, how you doing? I never.
You read comments.
You want to? She wants to. See, every time I start talking about cooking, everybody wants to. I just did a whole repass.
Yeah.
Bro, I had people taking home food that didn't even have bags or aluminum foil. Right. I don't know how they did it.
What you mean?
Listen, I don't know how they did
Hold
it.
the plate on top
Who
got some tape?
Figure it out. I don't know how they did it, bro. I had no aluminum foil. I had no plastic bags. I had a whole bunch of paper plates, but they made it work. They pulled they scraped the pans and went out by the pans.
Right.
I don't know how they did it, bro.
What you mean you don't know how they did it? We figured out. I want you to understand. I get it. I do. Mm-hmm. Right. And I understand what you're saying, right? You want people to give you your flowers where you can still smell them. You want to be. You want to be able to feel like what you've done, but what you have done.
They don't have the right to say to me or anybody else. No, they don't. Listen. I'm here. They don't have the right to say that our pioneering work has no value.
So if they don't have the right to say that, they don't have the right to give you an award either.
No, it's not about to give me an award. It's not about getting an award. I have all of the awards.
Right.
Okay, I have them. I had to fight to get those too, by the way.
Absolutely.
Okay, now, hold on, wait a minute. Hold on a second. This commemoration is a exact moment in time. It'll never happen again.
Says who?
I won't be alive for it. I won't be alive for it. I won't be alive for the 300 celebration of the nation, bro. I won't be alive.
This is for the 250 situation.
Yes.
Oh, man.
Yes. No. Don't. See, this is the whole thing, right? This is why we don't find out about our heroes, because we do that. That's not that big of a deal. No. And then we find out about our heroes and what they did. Why? Black history facts. Little known black history facts. Did you know that there was a black man from Upper Darby that cared about black people so much that he went for the Juneteenth proclamation? Well, back in 2017, and they're going to be talking about it in 2030. You understand what I'm saying? Like I said, Robert Smalls didn't get a statue with everything that he did for America and Black America.
That's 4 years from now, 2030.
Excuse me.
You'll still be here.
2130. How about that?
All right.
2130. Or how about this? 2050. Okay? Because I never thought that I would make it to this age, bro.
You and me both, bro.
You know, I did.
I'm
with all the reckless stuff that I did, bro. Stop.
That's why I wake up breathing. I'll be like, man, that's
why I glorify the name of the Lord, bro. That's why I glorify the name of the Lord, because I know where my strength comes from. You know, and this is why I'm not sitting here being judgmental. I'm speaking from a point of observing and caring. I had to set some people straight as to what my character is. They have to understand that I'm black all day. I may not speak certain language a certain way, walk a certain way, but put me in a different setting, give me a beer, and see what happens.
I know who you
know
are.
What I mean?
I know who you are.
Don't tell nobody.
From our very first encounter, I told you whatever you needed from me, I was here. I considered you a brother. You were trying to move Juneteenth forward, right, to get a proclamation, right, so that we as black people can celebrate our freedom.
Right.
Our heritage.
Right.
The things that
look at what they did to it, though, bro.
That's what happens when things become Americanized. That's why
they didn't want to give it to us, and they had to settle. Again, it's not like it's not like we didn't push for this to be a African American holiday. That was always the push. But every president said no.
Until
until Joe Biden and his team, including, hold on, ask Mary Gay Scanlon about it, because we had a conversation about this, because she was originally on the board for this. And me and Mary, we had a civil conversation about it. Hi, Mary, how you doing? We had a civil conversation about it, and she told me. She said, Rich, I know all about it. She says, but I'm not on the board anymore, and this is the direction it's going. And I said, thank you, Ms. Scanlon. I appreciate you telling me the truth. And she did. She ain't lied to me.
So who's on the board?
Several other people. I can't name them all by names. I can't name them by names.
Sometimes it's best to know their name.
Right.
Know the people involved.
I mean, it's a done deal, bro. It's law now.
But your proclamation, right?
No, it's law now.
What? But what did your proclamation do?
Well, the proclamation just gave awareness.
Right.
Okay. The proclamation is just basically an announcement.
And there was no other proclamation before yours on what Juneteenth was, and what
only
it
in
meant.
Philly.
Only in Philly.
Mm-hmm. Only in Philly.
That person being recognized?
Yes, they have.
So
yes, they will.
So what you're saying is, you've never been recognized for what you did.
No, I was recognized for each step.
Okay.
The cementing
Right.
of this iconic status is a legacy time capsule moment.
So they don't want your name in a time capsule.
Not at all.
Because you're disruptive.
Why do I have to have these negative connotations put to my name because I tell the truth?
Because that's what truth does.
Truth is not disruptive.
It disrupts the motherfuckers that don't like the truth. When you come out and say
that's a negative connotation,
it is, but
I'm not willing to accept.
But sometimes you got to look at it positively. You have to be able to spin it. You're damn right. I'm disruptive. I'm disruptive if you're not.
See, when I see, hold on, I'm gonna cause you. I'm stop. When I say I'm disruptive to people, when I act that way, oh, he's cocky. Oh, he's angry. He's that. So I go, hold on. So I go sit down, right?
No.
I sat down for 23 days. Then I got some broad. Talking about me in council meetings. I ain't even been going there. I done told them people I'm gonna leave them alone. But it's like they keep calling me out.
They calling you out because you come out and you do what you're supposed to do.
Listen, I ain't been doing nothing but coming to the radio. Listen, I ain't been doing nothing but coming to the radio station.
Disruptive.
No, not disruptive. Speaking freely.
Your podcast is disruptive.
Bull. My podcast is not disruptive.
To someone else, it is.
Oh my God! Listen.
To someone else, you got somebody else thinking about doing something.
Or watch this. Or I go do my civic duty at my American Legion and hold on. Watch this. Then again. Watch when Veterans Day and Memorial Day come up, and watch this. Everybody gonna come, thank you for your service. But you don't support the Americanism that you claim to want.
Well, that's hard.
No, it's not hard, bro.
They didn't realize how we were being treated by the police.
You know how many black posts we have?
Until the world stopped.
You know how many black posts we have?
Where?
All across. Well, Chester don't have one no more.
Yeah, we had one.
Where's
Horsey? It was down on 8th Street, 7th Street.
Is the roof still imploded on that job?
I don't know.
Okay.
But the question,
they got a physical building?
The question is, why don't we have one?
That's my point.
Right.
That's my point.
Right.
If your value, your freedom comes from veterans, especially the black ones, and the history, the Harlem Hellfighters, and all these other guys that we revere so much through history and Black History Month, we talk about what these veterans did and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. How come we treat other people better than the ones who actually laid the foundation for you to walk around Chester? You'll march for these people.
March for who?
The folks that we're marching for, is hold on, let me say it again. For illegals.
We don't. Chester hasn't had a march. Chester hasn't.
But no, Chester's going to have some legislation soon.
Possibly, because
that's corny as shit.
Because that's just
that's corny as shit.
That's the way the legislation
works. That's corny as, and I'm gonna say this again. That's corny. And any black person in Chester, if you stand for that, where you allow any of these public officials to put any legislation for these corny ass people someplace else instead of putting mandates down for black men and women and children here in Chester, you got public officials that are voting against your interests. Okay, any elected official, black official, is supposed to do what they're supposed to do for the black people that voted for them. And if they're not doing that, you need to get rid of them. Okay, you need to get rid of them.
It's just human rights.
That's not human rights, bro.
It is.
No, it's not. Let me tell you something. We have the human right when we built this country. We had a human right when we gave the world inventions. When we gave the world these inventions.
Let's talk.
No, we weren't giving human rights. We're not giving human rights when we have a clause to our freedom. That's not human rights. We're the only group in America that has no clause, that has no human rights. We don't have human rights, bro.
So why, if we never experienced it, why can't we live in it? Because that's what
we're living. Hold on, watch this.
Listen, that's truly what religion is about. That's truly what Jesus would have done. And we can't say, "Oh, I'm Christian, I'm Catholic, I follow
here we go. I love
Muslim."
I love how people.
It's human regardless.
I love how people throw Jesus in this, and
I'm not. Did I mention Jesus?
No. You just now.
I didn't mention Jesus.
I know, but
I did say what would Jesus do?
Now watch this. Watch this. I'm gonna throw this in there, right? People have used the arrival of Joseph and Mary into Bethlehem to say that
were they not escaping?
No.
Were they not running from Jesus?
No.
Wasn't it a king looking to kill Jesus?
No.
Yes, it was.
No. Listen
Yes,
to me.
it was.
Listen to me. Listen, you're not listening.
done.
Watch this.
Tell the
Listen,
truth. Tell the truth,
I'm
bro.
about to tell you. You got to listen.
Right.
Mary and Joseph left where they were and came to the town of Bethlehem, which is Joseph's place of birth, to be enumerated in the census. So they were following the law. It wasn't until after the birth of Christ that King Herod decided, based upon a evil star and the prophecies from his seers or whatever, that they would kill the firstborn of anybody that was born in that lunar year. But when Mary and Joseph traveled, they were not running from anything. They were running to, they had the baby in the manger. They were enumerated for the census, but then they, like everybody else, by King Herod's proclamation to kill the firstborn, based upon a star, based upon the, what his seers told him, then they fled from being persecuted and killed by the same person that wanted to enumerate them. People don't tell the full story, bro.
You telling the story like you was there.
It's in the Bible.
It's written in the Bible.
It's written in the Bible. Got to read it. My bad. My bad, bro. This is what I do. And I got to cook for Lean and I got to cook for Leslie. You see this, bro? As soon as I start talking about food, it's always going to be some women's going to come in there and go, because they already know that they see my food pictures, and I know Leslie is greedy. We got to figure out a way to, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We do need to figure out ways to, and like I said, again, I'm a strong advocate for doing things the right way. I'm not totally against like I said, I don't like the processes of what was being done. I don't like the images. I don't like the young kid that got arrested with his father. I don't like that. I don't like that. That's the humanity of us. But I just want to say this very plainly. When you come from a place where we don't have human rights, we would be stronger as a people if we didn't have that clause against us that strips us of our humanity and relegates us back to slavery. You are one felony away from being a slave. One. You're one felony away from being a slave. No other group of people has that status. A Chinese man can go to jail. He get out of jail, he's not a slave.
Why isn't he a slave?
Because he's not from the 13th Amendment clause.
Because he ain't black. Say it.
No. Because he was never a slave in America.
He was.
No.
His people was.
No, he wasn't. Like you said, he was indentured.
They was blowing shit up.
They was indentured.
But they was blowing.
The Chinese were hired to come work the railroad. They were not bound to slavery. No other group.
The Chinese and the Irish.
indentured. They were not bound to slavery.
Because?
Only black Americans, African Americans, dark-skinned people, those who are indigenous from this earth that were put in chains, those that were brought over, are the only people that are held to the clause in the 13th Amendment that says if you are convicted of a crime, you are relegated back to slavery. Now, they don't whip you, and they don't call you boy or anything like that.
They don't what?
No, listen. You know what I'm talking about. When I say that, ain't nobody walking up to you, ain't no white person coming up to you every day calling you boy. Not every day.
When you're locked up.
Yeah, hold on. Oh, yeah, when you're locked up. Because why? You're relegated back to a slave.
Right.
But here's the thing. You walk out in the street, right? You get an infraction. You get pulled over by the cops, right? They run your name through David,
It's
right?
your license, boy.
They say, hold on. First is sir, because they don't know who you are.
Bullshit.
No. First is sir.
That's because you got that gray beard.
No. Yeah. First is sir. But then when they get your license, registration, insurance, all that changes once they put your stuff through David.
And they find out you got.
And they found that you got a felony. Oh, it's a whole different rap.
I remember getting pulled over by the state troopers. I had just got this rental car and had Florida plates. I ain't never won no rental with out of state plates. I always won in Pennsylvania plates. They pulled me over. They like, get out the car. I said, for what? They said, you got drugs in the car. I said, who got drugs in the car? I said, you better check my record. I just came home from upstate. I'm not going to fuck back up there, so I ain't got no drugs. Boy, don't lie to me. Open the trunk. Open the trunk? Where your warrant at? I'm not doing nothing. They brought a dog. Dog walked around the car, ain't find nothing. Got me out. She said, you going to open the trunk? I said, when you get a warrant. Like, I'm not. Why would I open the trunk? What if there are drugs in the car?
Right.
Just say.
Right.
I know. Get a warrant. They ain't never get no warrant. He said, the dog ain't doing nothing, so I'm going to let you go. They had me out there for at least 2 hours.
2 hours. Because you know why? Because because that inconvenience to remind you of your status.
No, they didn't remind me of my status. They just remind me like they don't give a fuck. I don't think of status when I think of America because I was never given any fucking status. I was never given it. So how can I assume that I understand what status means? I have white friends that I ride with. I'm like, bro, if we riding in the Aston, I'm driving. I don't want you driving. Well, why not? Because if they pull us over, they fucking with me. They not fucking with you. They want to know why I'm with you. They want to know what I got for you. Then they, you selling them drugs? No, I ain't selling them drugs.
But see, can I say this? I know it's different over on this edge of it really is. Because I hear that a lot. But over on my edge, it's really, as soon as they run you, it's not that way at the beginning. At first, it's like a North and South thing. At first, they real cordial, but once they run you,
they ain't never cordial. This is a black town. This is a black town.
Oh no, listen.
This is not Upper Darby with some white people, some Italian people, some Puerto Rican people, some Mexican people. It's not smatters like that. It's predominantly black. So they pulling up with the gun, like, yo, what's up? Where your license? Yo, what is you talking? What you pull me over for? Because I'm coming right at you. If I say, why do you talk to police like that? Because he's human just like me.
Right. I talk to my cops all human too. I don't disrespect them.
The first chance you get to be disrespectful, you look at me like, get the fuck out the car. I'm not going anywhere.
I haven't had an officer, even with my, even with my thing, I've never had an officer talk to me that way. I never have. I never have. I've had some officers after they found out what my status then changed their temperature, but I've always had to keep control of this situation because my job is to get home. My job is not to argue with the cop whether I'm right or wrong, bro, because I know that the cop right now, if he runs my stuff, has power over me.
He doesn't.
No. According to that clause, bro, yes, he does.
He can't lock you up for nothing.
Bro, what?
He can't.
What? You can't get locked up for nothing? Did you just say that?
Okay.
Did you just say that?
So what I'm saying is...
you're talking to a guy who got charges put on him by Upper Darby Township Police, right?
I've been locked up
and I ain't do nothing, right? I had a gun pointed at me, and I got charges put on me. You know I'm that guy, right?
What I'm going to say is... You can be locked up for nothing.
Yes, you can.
You can have charges put on
Yes,
top
you can.
But you can also sue the fuck out of them for it.
And you know who I would be suing? The people.
So immediately
whether it's the people or not. You still.
So I'm gonna hold on. So I'm gonna create a depression by suing for millions, and
Because
create a
that
depression and keep a depression in the black community by suing for millions and winning and
No,
taking.
you get the millions and you give back to the black community.
Then
Duh.
why? Hold on. Why sue them at all when all we want is police accountability and get that guy fired?
Because you don't get accountability until you hold them accountable. You ain't holding them accountable by yelling about how they arresting you. You hold them accountable by taking some money out of their coffers.
No, it looks like some people are going to start getting money taken out of it. You hear that, Chester? Your tax is going to go up.
Listen, I took them. I took them to federal court.
Right.
I was locked up though.
Okay.
So you know how they wheeled me in there with all my blues on. You feel me? And my handcuffs. Then the two cops that Battenary and Jackson came in there, they were fully decorated. Like that. I thought I ain't never seen you with all them medals.
They denigrated you right in front of the judge.
Right in front of the judge, right in front of the jury. Bro.
Yeah. They made you look like the criminal you are.
Then all the white people picked the one black person to be the lead juror that comes up and says, what?
Of course, because here's the thing. You're not going to not go against us. Not for this one guy. They knew what they were doing. And this is why I keep talking about why it's systematic. So once again, here we go. Bryce, why are we helping other people when we need our help for ourselves?
We don't know how to use the help for ourselves.
We sure do a good job organizing for them. We sure do a good job for them.
No, we're not really organized.
Why not? Bro, we out there, they had a black girl out there at Upper Darby High, all on there. She spoke very well and eloquently. They found a good one.
Who orchestrated that?
Who orchestrated that?
Yes.
They said that the students did it amongst themselves.
Students ask questions. Students want to.
No, they said the students organized this by themselves. But on January the 31st, UDTJ had a forum at their little hangout at their Honeycomb Hideout in Drexel Hill, where they announced that they were going to teach school-age students about how to do what they did.
Right.
Okay? So you have a man that's an adult. You have a woman that's an adult. They still live in their high school fantasies of organizing kids and disrespecting the rights of parents by educating their children past the values of their home. Nobody has that right, bro. He don't have that right. Nobody has the right to come and tell your son how to do something when you done made all the costs to be the boss to show your son how to be a better man than you. Imagine that. Imagine somebody coming in and telling your son and getting and convincing him and believing
to
that.
Fight. Imagine somebody coming in and telling my son to fight. I have a conversation with my son.
Right.
Do you believe that this is something worth fighting for?
I had a conversation with my son Michael. He wanted to join the Black Panthers before they got turned into the Black Lions.
What the hell?
Black Panther Party took away their what's the name? They're not the Black Panther Party in Philadelphia no more. They're the Black Lions.
Huh? There ain't no such thing as a Black Lion.
They gave him a Power Ranger designation.
A what?
So the Black Panther Party the official one, had a conversation with the bull in Philly.
Yeah.
Because he said that he was going to shoot a federal officer in the chest.
Ain't that what we said before?
No.
We wasn't holding guns?
They didn't say. The Black Panther Party was not about killing. It was about defense.
What the fuck was the guns for?
Defense.
And if they shoot at you, what you do back?
It's defending.
Well, if they shoot at you, what you do back?
Defending.
Oh my God.
You shoot at them back. I know that, but
right,
you understand this.
Yeah.
But the premise isn't for you to have the gun to shoot. The premise is to show that you have the weapon in the event that you may or may not need it. It's better to have a weapon and not need it than not have a weapon and do need one. That was the premise of that, bro. Okay? It was not the premise to make a threat to federal authorities. The Black Panther Party did. The Black Panther Party didn't.
Maybe that's the problem.
Okay, hold on.
Maybe you should have said that back 1960
okay.
that I'm going to shoot.
And that's why Fred Hampton and them ain't here, bro.
Well, they didn't say it, and they still not here.
And they took our guns too.
The hell? They crept up in the house at night.
Yeah. So
took him out.
Yeah, they did. So watch this. So the son said, "Hey, listen, we understand what you're doing."
The son
of Fred Hampton.
Fred Hampton Jr.
Yeah.
said that they weren't
It had to come from somebody higher than him.
Nope, came from him, bro.
No.
Yeah. He already put a video out there. The guy did. He put a video out there.
I'm sure it came from somebody higher than him, though.
Well, whatever it was,
It wasn't for
whatever it was. They not the Black Panther Party of self-defense in Philadelphia no more. They are the Black Lion Party of self-defense in Philadelphia.
What is a black lion?
I don't know.
I've never
seen
black
one.
lion.
I never seen a black lion either, bro.
The fuck?
But listen.
They just changed the whole name. Why I got to be a cat? Might as well be the Black Pit Bulls or the Black Alley Cats. If you're going to change your name.
Like I told my son, I said, first of all, son, you're too smart to be a frontline dude. You're not a gritty guy. You're not, you know what I mean? You're not elbows and assholes type of that's for your pop. You know what I mean? I'm a Mr. Clean comic cleaner. You know what I mean? I'm for that type of stuff. I know you could do it, but I said if you really wanted to make change on a certain level, you're more intellectual and influential in your community where you can affect change with your voice. You could the youth need to put together a coalition where they are grooming themselves and training themselves for the future now. The group like Miss Mayfield has, grooming these kids, not when you say that with her, she's not grooming them. She's instructing them on the ways.
She's grooming them.
It's not a groom.
What is a groom?
Because she's allowing them to make decisions, bro. They're making decisions.
Making decisions that better their community.
Yes, hold on.
Like she do.
Yeah, right. But it's not when I say it's not a grooming. It's not a thing where it's a force. They came together because it's an agreement.
You say grooming is force.
Grooming is force, bro.
Oh,
Grooming is force.
Doesn't sound like force to me.
If you groom a dog, what are you doing?
Combing his hair.
No, you're training it. Grooming has different connotations, bro.
Grooming him, I'm cutting his hair.
You're thinking of general grooming.
That's grooming. How many other definitions for grooming are there?
Several.
Oh my God.
Several.
Oh my God.
Several.
Oh, let me look this shit up.
Okay.
It's always you and these damn definitions.
You know, exploitation has two definitions.
Are you gonna say one's good and the other one's bad? Exploitation for me is all bad.
Exploitation has two definitions, bro. You ready for it?
Go ahead.
The one you know is bad. Somebody taking advantage of your work and everything, not giving you any credit, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
The second definition of exploitation is this.
Mm-hmm.
You got a car with no gas. I got no car, but I got gas money. I'm going to exploit the situation you had by riding with you in your car, and you're going to exploit the situation I got by getting money to put money in your car, and we both going to get there together.
It's not exploitation.
Yes, it is.
Of
Look
each
at the
other?
definition.
Two people exploiting each other.
You want to challenge me to that word? Exploitation has two definitions.
No, we're talking about grooming.
Okay, we go with grooming, but exploitation has two definitions, my friend.
This motherfucker. Exploiting. We both exploiting.
Mm-hmm.
Exploiting, I thought exploiting happens from the top down. Like,
nah.
how's it happen from even positions? You have no car,
but I have gas money.
And I have a car with no gas money. So how are you exploiting me when we're both doing it for each other?
Because if I don't come to you and say, hey, check this out, man, I'm going to need to use your car and you need to drive me there, blah, 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 we both not going to get to where we need to go. So we need to exploit the opportunity to work together.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Grooming means maintaining personal hygiene and appearance. Grooming refers to cleaning and maintaining animals' coat. Then we have the one that talks about gradually builds trust and emotional connection with a child or vulnerable person in order to exploit, abuse, or control them. Mm-hmm. Right? Professional grooming can mean preparing somebody for a future role of responsibility.
Right. Professional. Hold on. But you see that professional? Professional. Meaning somebody
No, that's the context.
Context.
Professional or organizational context.
Right.
He is being groomed for leadership.
Right.
She is being groomed as the next director.
But how is that grooming done? And how is it done in a way where it comes back to benefit the community or is used to exploit the community?
True.
You understand?
Yep.
That's the difference between, what Miss Mayfield is doing and what these other two people are doing, because they did the same thing when they weaponized black skin during Black Lives Matter. Okay, I watched this man do that type of stuff, and I'm totally against his methods. I'm totally against him using black children, period. I'm gonna get Kyle McIntyre. I'm tired of this bull. Tired of him. Tired of him. Every time you turn around, this bull is doing something with kids. Always doing something with kids. I'm serious, man. Listen, I ain't saying like that on no sexual level.
You
know what I
are.
mean? No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm not.
People can take it that way.
I just think that's why I said I'm not.
doing
That's
something with kids.
that's why I said I'm not saying it like that. I just think it's real weirdo that you graduated high school and all you do is surround yourself
With high school kids.
With high school kids. I think it's real weirdo.
He's just trying to live out his best years.
No, it's weirdo, bro.
Then they
It's weirdo.
started UTJ when they were still in high school.
Right, but
Right or
high
wrong?
school over. Listen, even
High school's over for you.
high school's over for them too.
High school's not over for them.
Listen, in Upper Darby Township, once you graduate high school, they don't even want you back on the property, bro. Ain't no go back and visit my old teacher.
How old is Kyle?
Over 23.
That's it? He's a
Over
He's
23.
a councilman?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, see, don't you see the conflict of interest though?
He's gonna be
You're a council person.
he's gonna be something crazy.
Oh no! This is what's going to happen. You're going to be council person. You're going to be council person. Then you're going to be mayor.
He gonna be
Then
mayor?
He's going to be mayor because he got to build his resume. Okay, he lied to me and said I'm don't have no aspirations for political office. You fucking liar.
You know, a lot of people say that, and then other people.
I have no aspirations for political office.
You're a felon. You can't.
Even if I was a fucking, if I wasn't a felon, bro.
wasn't.
Even if I wasn't, I
If you
wouldn't run.
wasn't,
I would not run.
I would tell you.
I
to.
would not run.
I would tell you,
Bro,
to.
I can't be in a
I
room.
would tell you
I cannot
to go in
stand
there
next to nobody
and
knowing.
destroy all of their shit. Step on it. Fuck your couch, nigga type shit.
I would never.
You understand what I'm saying?
I would never run for a public office, bro, because I would be next to people lying and I would smack the shit out of them.
Well, then you smacking the shit out of them.
Ain't no sense in me running. I'd rather smack.
Vote for Rich Blye if you want your council person smacked. That's how you make change, bro.
Listen, bro, I'm trying to tell you. You know what the problem with racism is? You know what the problem with this whole thing is? Is that we got a lot of people walking around here that should have got smacked in their mouth a long time ago, bro.
Long time ago.
Okay? It should have been a lot of people checked.
For me, this is the best way to smack them. For me.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that should have been checked a long time ago, bro.
But they weren't.
should have been checked and they weren't.
And
they weren't.
And then things are allowed to say.
And they're allowed to say it. But this is
We
what
disagree. Listen, check it. We disagree on this.
Right.
Right? But we don't act like we hate each other.
No, it's a conversation, bro. But at our core, because watch this, because at our core, we're fathers, we're protectors.
Yeah.
At our core, we've both been on the wrong side of the track. We've been on the right side of the track. We've looked for redemption. We're both people going through grief. We're both people trying to experience our mental health on Mondays. We're both people that are trying to build something in our community that's positive, so we can build a
got my
legacy.
vote.
So look at all of these. Hi, Miss Cole. She gonna vote for me for dog catcher, bro.
Right.
Yeah, no, right. Thanks, Miss Cole. I appreciate that. But we have these things. This is what I'm trying to say. I just named 8 things right off the rip that we have in common. And because of that commonality, just like every other social construct group, we have to build on those things. When you talk about the ages, like I said, I work for Chinese and Koreans. I worked at Alexander's on Old York Road, a Greek restaurant. I started as a dishwasher, but because of my character, I moved up to his lead saute. I had to leave him in order to get further because it was a family business. He could not promote me. Why? Because it was a family business. I was not family. I was not going to pierce that ceiling and go out front in a suit and tie and say, hey, how was your meal and stuff like that. I had to go into the corporate structure, but I only got so high with that too. They ain't going to let you go past the general manager level. And getting to the general manager level, bro, is not easy for a black man in any corporation because a lot of them do not want your experience, your intelligence, your knowledge, your common sense.
No, that's not what they don't want.
No, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
They don't want you to keep the door open. That's it. They don't want you to allow other people like you in.
Right. So now
it has nothing to do with
again,
you because you became who you became. And you probably left tons of doors open.
Hey, yo, shut the door behind you, Rich. Fuck. Why you think grandma always told ain't a kid in this world, black kid, that grandma ain't ever say, shut the screen door. And you left the door open. You let the flies in. I'm not cooling the outside.
Right.
Every kid has heard that.
Right.
It's a reason. Because when we go into places, there have been places that I've been over the past 5-6 years. I don't shut the door. Tell my brothers, come on, we in this joint.
Right.
The more of us that are in here, the more we can grab.
Right. But see, here's also the thing, though. This code of conduct. I would love to open up the door a little bit wider. But unfortunately, I can't because there's no code of conduct because I've had that door open before and I let certain people in and they failed, bro. And it's not because they didn't have the tools, and it's not because they didn't have the resources, and it's not because they didn't have the support. It's just they didn't have the same attitude that we have of determination and focus to complete our segments of what we're doing when helping the community. A lot of people get in this for the photo ops. A lot of people get in this for the notoriety and to be put on a pedestal. I got involved because there was a void. There was no one there. There was no leadership. There was nobody helping. There was nobody to care. That's why I got involved with it. I didn't get involved with it to think that I would, one day get those awards that I got for Juneteenth. I thought that I did the right thing by getting the proclamation and left it at that. But then when I started getting calls saying, well, did you do this? Well, did you do that? Well, they're going to take that from you, bro. They're going to take that from you. And sure enough, they came for it. Had I not listened and got my name put inside, written in with the law, they would have took it from me. And this is people who are black. This is not white Republicans. This is our people.
Not all.
Hold on. Watch this. So this hold on, I'm gonna finish with this. The sensual fool. Because I've got the other three. Driven by desires and unreasonable lust, they speak foolishly and lead others astray. The scornful fool, arrogant, despises, mocks wisdom, rejects correction, and has contempt. The steadfast fool, stubbornly wicked, rejecter of godliness, the most dangerous type that will draw you into a conflict and leave you there.
That's most of the people that be having debates on Facebook.
Yes, indeed.
Because you can't go nowhere.
Because you can't go nowhere with it.
Well, but I understand it. I do. I sit back and I allow it. But one thing I understand about our community, because I love my community. Mm-hmm. I love what I see from us. Mm-hmm. We can have so much. We can have so much more than we've ever been offered.
Right.
If we just stuck together.
That's why I say it like this, bro. If we're gonna do any coalitions, and I got my ticket for that that 21st, John.
Oh, shout out to Jameer. He's doing, what is that? February 21st?
Yeah, the 21st.
Right. The accountability.
Yeah, that accountability. Form. Yeah.
Yeah, I probably won't be there. I probably got something.
No, I'm going.
No, February 21st.
Yeah.
What time is it?
5 to 8.
We got some. Oh, we got a brunch happening earlier.
What?
So I'll already be in the building.
Yeah, I'll be there for it.
Yeah, we got a R&B brunch.
Listen, I'll be there. I'll be in Chester all day, bro. On the 21st, I'll be there for it. But I want to sit down because I like the panel that's coming up there. But I'm real interested to see if they'll go around and let people pose questions or anything with this thing because I'm an outsider, of course. That's gonna be my next week's segment, the outsider.
Damn. France ain't using American technology?
Nope.
$30 million a year that was flown to Silicon Valley. Ditching Microsoft. Yeah, well.
Listen, bro. Like I said, this is what I'm trying to say to us. I'm not saying for us to get our stuff together because of this sitting president. I'm telling us to get our stuff together because of the way that the world's reacting to America itself. We can no longer be like rats on a sinking ship. Okay? That's where we're at right now.
That's what we've been on.
Yeah. Okay? We have to now understand that we are on port and we are on land, and we need to let some of those ships sail. Okay, because again, brother, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who's president now. It doesn't matter what happened in our past. It matters to history. We have to be ready in the next 2 years because everything that we're gaining, they're going to come and take it. Just like I said before, when I said it 7 years ago, before the pandemic, I said, get your house in order because it's going to come a time when you ain't going to be able to work. They're going to shut things down. And I said it on your show. I'm sorry, I follow these trends. I follow the analytics. I watch everything, bro. I watch it. I watch how it goes. And that's why I say to my folks, I love you. But if you don't get your stuff together in the next 2 years and this thing hits the way that I'm telling you, you going to be mad at nobody but yourself. Because I promise you.
I don't even think we got a full 2 years.
We don't. We have a year and a half.
18 months.
Yeah, we have a year and a half, bro.
I smell it.
Okay, we have a year and a half.
I smell it.
I do. Like, listen, not for nothing. Again, I know people don't like this president, and for obvious reasons. I needed a policy. This is what I told people. I need a policy of empowerment to reclaim the financial wealth that I had built before COVID. The way that I'm struggling now financially, I never struggled like this before, unless it was before 1999. I never struggled like I'm struggling now, bro. I'm making my rent. I'm paying my car note. I'm paying my insurance. You know what I'm saying? I'm working. But where I was at before COVID, I was set, bro. I could spend money like whatever. Now, all my change is going to the bank, baby. I'm not ashamed of it, but I have to face that reality of it. And for a lot of people, where your life is set because you still got your good resources, because you still got your good benefits. I lost my job during COVID. It got eliminated. I had to remake myself. It got eliminated.
How did you remake yourself?
I went right back into my hustle, baby. You know, listen.
Your hustle should always be there.
My hustle has always been there. My hustle's even when in the corporate job, bro. I always had something going on. That's what I'm talking about. I used to run the karaoke's down at the old Brownies and at the bars in Upper Darby. I was the one that was sending DJs out and stuff like that. I was the one that was having after parties and stuff like that. Like I said, people don't know me from back in the day. I had a hustle going with the job. But then the job left. And now I'm on the hustle. And because of my post-traumatic stress and compounded grief syndrome and everything like that, I can't go back into a corporate world anymore.
Because it's hard to trust it. Or it's hard to trust yourself. Because you're disruptive.
No.
That's the end of the Rich Blye show. That's 3 hours.
No. Honestly, I love you, bro.
I love you too, bro.
Right? And I don't never want you to stop being disruptive. Take some time off because we all need it, bro. You've been at it for a long time, man, and people don't get it, man. 365 days of the year straight forward, you deserve at least a month off, right? Have I taken a couple months? Yeah, because I was doing it from 2017 to 2024. 7 years, 2 strokes. You understand what I'm saying? Multiple fights, arguing, screaming, hollering, yelling. I was tired. And before I said something that damaged how other people view me, I ain't worried about how they view you. Before I say something that's going to mess up what I worked so hard to build, I'm going to sit my ass down.
Well, see, I'm going to say this. You know, I kind of took advantage of the fact that it was your birthday and Martin Luther King Day and the snow and everything like that to not. But then I hit a patch in the last week of January where I knew that my brother's date was coming up. And I like I said, I have to gear myself up to deal with folks, my Men's Health Monday, and this is my truth. I have to gear myself up in order to start my day. It's not an easy thing to do. People can get up, naturally get themselves dressed, shower, you get themselves dressed, feed yourself, put the key in the door, kiss the wife or whatever, boom, go down the street, you know what I mean, deal with life. I have to deal with my grief every day. Every single, bro. Every single. I have to deal with it. Because I know that at some point in time, it's going to come. And the last week of January, it just kept coming. And just kept coming. And no matter how many times I spoke with my therapist, it just kept coming. And I knew I had to sit down. And unfortunately, the way that I sit down is that it's like this. Boop, boop. I got that from my brother. He would just disappear. He would just disappear. I picked that off of him because normally I don't disappear. Normally I let somebody know that I'm okay. Like my sister Pauline. Hi, Pauline. Miss you, love you. A lot of people thought that I was mad at them, and I wasn't. It's just that when I get into that state of being angry, I know how my temper is. It's not a good thing. It's a bad thing. It's bad. No, it's bad. My anger's bad, bro. It's bad. My anger's bad. It's bad. When I'm angry, it's not a good thing. It's not. It's not good. There's no levels of anger for me. It's either I'm happy or I'm just super pissed the hell off and you just gonna get it. And I've learned not to create collateral damage. I've learned in my therapy not to expose people to my trauma in that way. Get myself together, compose myself, pray, meditate, eat something, and then come back and say, hey guys, hey, I'm back. You know what I mean? But people have to give me that because that's what works for me. You know, everybody else has a different methodology. But one thing, nobody will be able to come and say to me, oh, you took your anger out on me and you were going through something. No, I tell people from the beginning, listen, I love you. I care about what happens to you. And the last person that I'm going to allow to hurt you is me. Mm-hmm. Okay? That's the last person I'm going to do. So I'm going to take myself out of the way. I'm going to come back. But I got to go deal with me because I'm the only person that can deal with me. Right. Nobody can help me with my trauma. Nobody can help me with my depression. You could be supportive. You could be caring. You can be loving. And I love you all. Thank you so much for your support and love, everything. But at the end of the day, facing the challenge of dealing with compounded grief syndrome, dealing with post-traumatic stress, dealing with the anger issues that I have about losing the people that I love is a personal journey for me. It's something that I talk about personally so that people that are going through it know that you're not alone. Right. But some of the strengths that I draw on, it has to be between me and my spiritual connection with the universe. See you guys on the flip side.